The meeting is called to order, Southampton Planning Board, Thursday, July 24th, 2025. The secretary will call the roll.
Chair LaFaro is absent. Vice Chair Fidity.
Present.
Secretary is here. Board Member Mutu, I believe, is late. Board Member Neely.
Present.
Board Member Fulham.
Present.
And Board Member Glazer is absent. We do have a quorum.
Very good. Could we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any minutes to approve?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Let me just get my notes opened. We have June 26 and July 10.
Very good. Do we have a motion? Motion by Tom, second by Kate. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We have 4 yes, 3 absent. We'll close the afternoon session. Convene the afternoon work session. I don't know. Claire's ready for that. Is Claire? Tom? Here. Okay. Tom, are you in on that?
I am.
Okay. Come on up. Oh, sure. Yeah. This is the.
Claire to introduce or?
Sure. Come on up. I'm sure Claire will locate her. Hi, folks. Just give us your names for the audio record, please.
Keith Keto, Tiger Defco.
Okay.
And Laurel Mooney.
Laurel Mooney. Great. And this is the Shinnecock Town Fishing Dock, wireless facility.
Thomas Halton, Town Engineer, Shinnecock Commercial Dock.
Welcome always. Claire, we're on the work session and
We are in the work
we have
session.
all our parties assembled.
Great. And so what the board had asked last time, because it was a lot of information, a lot of questions about how they got here, what the process was. The applicant prepared these memos and schematics about how they got here, a little bit memo. I actually have copies too. Do you have the memo itself? I don't have, that's okay, I have that.
So we can walk you through a bit of the backstory as
great.
to how we arrived here today. So proceeding this package, around about 2018, the town's getting a ton of calls from cell tower developers looking to partner with us for projects. And then in 2018, we started to put together a internal group to review these, and that was headed by the controller's office at the time. So through that process, we identified a bunch of sites along with using the town's cellular master plan. And then in 2021, we started to develop an RFP for these cell tower sites. And then in 2023, the town decided to move forward with the RFP for 2 of those sites. And one was the North Sea Transfer Station, and then the other one was the Shinnecock Commercial Dock. In the RFP, that said that they're identified as opportunity areas for cell tower service in referencing the master plan wireless coverage maps. Sprint has a huge dead zone in that area, fair outdoor to no coverage in that area, as well as Verizon PCS. So using these maps, they help to hone in on sites that need service, and they're also owned by the town, because we can't develop cell tower sites ourselves anywhere other than town properties, right? So at that point, we went out to RFP, and then that's when Keith and Laurel came in, and we selected them as the most suitable developers to partner with. So do you want to jump into the RFP part? Or I'll keep running with it, actually. If that's fine with it. So when we got to the Shinnecock Commercial Dock site, at and around this same time, we had started to, if you want to go to page 3 of your package. Anthony, can we go to PowerPoint? Yeah, perfect. So we'll go to page 3. So at and around this time, we had begun developing the Shinnecock Commercial Dock facility to serve a couple different purposes. So we worked with the fisher people at the site to help them figure out how they can start to export their own fish themselves. And that's where you see these gray areas to the left. So Nick Jimenez, our capital project manager, developed this. The gray areas to the left near where the truck is, that's like a loading dock, pack out area for refrigerated trucks, right? So we started to take the site from just a parking lot with equipment everywhere, and we started to create little pockets so that we could store the fishing equipment on the left side. We've got the pack out truck in the middle next to the electrical bank. And then we reorganized the parking areas so that we could have more parking for the fisher people. We could still have our cell tower site to the north of the property up there. And then we'd also looked at some paid parking or permanent parking for people to use the beach across the street. This hasn't panned out yet. We haven't moved forward with it, but we wanted to show you that in our future use of the site or future designs for the site, that we had kind of accounted for each piece of how we felt this site might build out. So we just want to show you that it's kind of all there. This area is completely outside of our recent bulkhead deadman renovation, which is just to the north of where the cell tower is being proposed. You'll see like the existing parking lot that's not shaded gray. That's where all the structural supports are for the bulkhead system. So 21, 22, we did a lot of renovation work in there, and all of this work is proposed outside of any supports required for that bulkhead. So
If I may just interject, Board Member Mutu has arrived. So we've got 5 people.
so do you want to jump into just service, suitability?
One of the other things that the town had spoken about was using the revenue from the cell phone tower to make the planned improvements at the dock station.
Yep, this is one of Supervisor Shineman's projects at the time, and it was hopefully a partnership that would allow the future development of this site. So the potential revenue gained from having a tower at the site would then be utilized in turn to redevelop this site and make it better for kind of the backbone of the Hampton Bays community, which is the commercial fisher people.
Another suitable property for cell phone tower development in the area, if you go to the next page, there is a town beach right at the end of the bridge. What do you call that?
Pontoquag.
There's a large parking lot. However, visually, it was our opinion and the town's opinion that the dock station would be visually pleasing versus coming over the bridge and the direct line of sight to the cell phone tower that would be located on the beach. So if you go to the next couple of pages.
And also to answer a previous question, this tower serves a much greater area than 1 or 2 antennas placed in the cupola of the Poncorn Pavilion. So it's kind of apples and oranges as far as impacts on the area. If we were
In the cupola, there wouldn't be the visual issue that you just raised.
right, just much less coverage, like
Okay,
significantly less
just-
coverage.
Now you could only have one carrier in that area, even though there's 3 little spots that you think that you could put them in. There would be interference between antennas if you put one carrier here, one carrier here, one carrier here. They'd be hitting against each other.
Secretary Brecker, point's taken in that, if we did put in the cupola, there would be no visual impact, but that wouldn't achieve the goal of getting the service out here.
That's just,
Point.
that helped clarifies it.
So if you could just click the,
Which one do you want to go to?
that one's good. So when you're coming down the roadway,
they have
the park would
That's
be right at
exactly
the end, so you'd
Yeah.
see it dead on. So
I think we've all driven over that bridge.
yeah. So the next photo is a close-up in the intersection. The star represents where the tower, visually would be in that area.
So kind of 2 themes. One, if a tower was placed at Ponkwag versus the cupola. And then the other is, if we put the tower at the commercial site, much further east of the property, not in the visual sight lines of those that most frequent that area, right? Most people are going to Ponkwag. There is a large number of people that go to, I don't know if it's still called Sundays.
Sundays on the back.
There are some restaurants down that way,
Oakland's
but
down there.
the vast majority, in our opinion, goes to the beach. Right?
Yeah.
So
If you go to the next slide, it shows basically the traffic ends at the beach entrance, and then we're down.
Where you
all
can
the
Sundays
way-
on the bay.
Yeah, on Sundays on the bay up there.
So just trying to give a geographical representation of distance between the forest area and where the proposed commercial dock is, which is actually even further east on this map, I believe. So. elevations, the backup generator, the height of everything, so.
Yeah, so everything will be to code. Everything will be raised up to 8 feet. The generators, we can't be doing diesel or anything. It's going to be either propane or backup batteries. We believe it's probably going to be backup batteries for a 7-day supply of power.
The foundation is designed for the area for flooding as well.
Could be
So flooding is
pilings or
no-
something like that,
yes.
yeah.
When you talk about backup batteries, how many are we talking about, since there is a sensitivity in the community about battery storage?
Oh, yes. That battery storage that's commercial grade.
Yeah.
The towers don't have a lot of power. The cabinet is, how big would you say the battery storage cabinet is per cabinet? Maybe a two by
Probably
three.
like
You
a
know how many
household.
kilowatt hours or, you know how many kW battery backup you're talking about?
I'm not sure, it's usually for 3 days to keep running.
But in this case, they would probably want 7 days. That's usually why they put a generator in. Generators with diesel or propane are substantially cheaper than the batteries. But to answer your question, I do not know the exact kilowatts. It is fairly low energy.
Would it be similar to what would be allowed in a house, or is it something bigger than that? Do you know?
The exact details, like a Tesla Powerwall, I would say.
I actually have information on this, but I don't have it with me. Size and.
Exact
wait, I have it
size.
for one.
We'd love to resubmit the actual accurate information at a later point, but it's likely multiple power walls if you were gonna compare it to that. So
I think
definitely
that
larger than a residential size.
that helps the community that might be listening.
Sure, yeah, of course.
And the only thing that becomes apparent, and you factored in, is the fact this road floods. I mean, not even during storms anymore. Sometimes high tide, if you have a protracted east wind, they keep the barricades there now.
Yeah.
And they'll close it off, so I'm assuming maintenance, you factor that in, this type of maintenance that you need.
I think you just assume like what your maintenance schedule is, like usually they're monthly.
Yeah, so maintenance during the summer, we will be there monthly, just trimming down if there's any weeds or anything like that. Bi-monthly during the winter months. And then really the only time the tower's being serviced is if something's being changed on the tower. So it's
Yeah.
not, and that's usually it's all planned and coordinated.
Yep. So I've been down there during those storm surges.
Yeah.
They're typically passable with a pickup truck for the most part.
It is,
Like
yeah.
if you really need to get there, you can get there.
You can get there, yeah, right in the middle of the,
And the highway department's always really good about trying to keep that open because there are a number of businesses being served. The dock is served. I remember when the bulb blew out, they were there, I think, same day, starting
They put sand back on.
to backfill. So
yeah.
it is a risky area, but it's already a developed site.
what
The
it is,
dock's
yeah.
there, so that building hasn't gotten washed away yet, thankfully. So yeah, it's all designed for those floods.
So Claire, are there any planning issues? I mean, should we think about is there any need for landscaping or
I don't think landscaping, it's
Like
not a residential area.
beach grass or anything?
The less, the better, I think,
Yeah.
you know, because it is beach grass. I mean, that would be the landscaping of the area, right?
Yeah,
So, no, not that, I don't
No
think
need.
from that perspective.
and lighting, you don't see an issue, lighting?
No, lighting is usually pretty low key with these things. They're just for security purposes, and that's all part of the requirements.
Okay,
The site's also screened in
Yeah.
with fencing, so
we
I
put
think
a lot of
just
thought into
having, we have a new code now with the tiers for BES, right? So just wanting to get that accurate information and do an analysis against the code that exists now, you know, to make sure
Just
that,
double check. I think there is a percentage, there is a threshold for accessory to a commercial business.
right, so,
Right,
but that's
we can
new, so we
definitely do
just have
that.
to
So
evaluate
as a
it.
The
condition,
600 kW still is covered by,
up to 600?
I believe so. That was the original intent, and I don't think it'll be that big.
Okay.
But we
Yeah,
should-
so it wouldn't be
Yeah,
that
we
big.
should have that information in the final package, so.
Okay, so put that on the plan as a condition and have it right in the condition. Okay.
yep. And if that's not feasible, then we start talking about propane again.
Yeah,
So
generator.
Yeah, which is the other option,
Yeah.
which is probably
And
fine too.
the other thing that we had talked about, and, you know, sort of a general statement due to security concerns about the Coast Guard tower, but it would be good to have a letter from Department of Defense indicating that that's not possible, just so that it's asked and firmly answered.
we can send them a letter. I
Yes,
cannot
we've
guarantee
not
that
done
they'll
that.
actually like
I might not.
write back to us that they'll even entertain, but we can absolutely like certified mail.
How do you
like-
know the answer then? Is it written someplace in like a federal law or, you know what I mean? There was sort of like a general blanket
get
statement
this,
about
yeah.
that, but not really any concrete answer. So it's still lingering for me.
Well, not to be
I
sarcastic,
think that's
but
putting a tremendous onus on the applicant to go and try to get a letter from the Department of
Yeah.
Defense, which you may never get as
Yeah.
a condition of approval on this, right?
there's a reason.
I think everybody who's ever dealt with any government agencies knows that they will not allow you to have a thing on that. They will not allow you to go in there to do maintenance because there are a whole bunch of security issues happening. If you put as a condition, they may never get a permit for this. I mean, sometimes you just have to take that as a good, this is not
Yeah.
gonna happen. And, you may never get a reply from them.
You probably won't.
Also, the carriers have had open search rings for this particular area for 20 years, and they have not been able to co-locate on that existing tower.
Are you able to say yet what the carriers are on the record, or you're
Uh,
still
That have a search ring right there? Verizon, T-Mobile,
T-Mobile?
and AT&T, I'm sorry.
Oh, the
Yeah.
three carriers,
Yes.
okay. So Claire, I'm assuming there's gonna be a resolution for us?
Yes,
Okay.
I have prepared a resolution for
We're in
you.
work session now, but
Yes.
when were you thinking of acting on
We
this?
can do it today.
Today?
So
Okay.
I presented last time, I was starting to talk about secra, and so there's one resolution for both issues. Just looking at the conditions right now. Right now, they say no additional lighting on the property, the color shall be gray, light blue, or silver. And then I'll add the notation has to be on with if it's gonna be a battery pack. If not, do you want to approve an LP tank or a generator, or do you wanna give them the option? I could
Probably
say
because
less than,
Well, let's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
check. I'm pretty sure the 600 kW
Okay.
where's the limit
For the
of
code.
being covered by.
or it shall be LP. Yeah,
Well-
the other option, or here's copies.
Let's see what the size is.
Get those answers before we consider approving it.
Subject to
It's
approval,
think-
subject to a
Okay.
planning board approval, because you could discuss it before you sign the plans.
Is there a light of some kind at the top of the tower? Because,
No lighting's
That would be more than 200 feet in the air.
Also, there's no
That-
flag
because,
on this, there's no flag.
so helicopter traffic or, a
It
tow
is-
plane or some, because the village heliport is not all that far away on the other side of the canal. I just wondered if there's any FAA.
Yeah,
We
so we
did
do
already
have a
submit-
no hazard from the FAA already.
Okay.
And then when this is built, it goes on to their maps. So they do know this tower exists,
It's there.
right?
It's already
Yes,
on
okay.
there, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
it's actually, yeah, it's on.
So I pulled up some of the previous legislation from earlier this year, and it appears that 600 kW is the cutoff to the next tier of battery storage.
Is which one?
600 kW is the, yeah.
So Claire, we could act on this then?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
any further questions from the applicant? What we'll probably do now is close the afternoon work session, convene the regular session, so we could move forward with this. Claire, are there any conditions that you've,
Yeah, so I just
Highlighted.
described them. They're on the second page. So this would be both your neg deck, and I'll update a little bit of the language that we just talked about in your environmental review. And then, as I said, the two conditions is no additional lighting, the color of the pole, and then I will add that a notation shall be that it should be battery storage, meeting the code of less than 600 kilowatts.
do you need two resolutions?
If you want to do the
I think
two
it's always better to
resolutions,
do
Two.
for neg deck and
Yeah.
then do the-
Yeah.
So
so
our
the neg
first,
deck would be
yeah,
yeah.
it's unlisted or type 1?
unlisted.
Unlisted. So our first resolution is to adopt neg declaration. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Gloria, second by George. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I'm gonna abstain.
One abstention, 4 yes, and that's for the neg deck. And then our second resolution is the approval with the conditions outlined on page 2. And any other conditions?
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, engineering approval.
Engineer,
No.
Before
leave
we
out the
vote on that, Claire, sorry, just
Okay.
ask a question. So the condition for the battery might be up to 600 kilos.
Yeah.
And if it's bigger than that, then they probably have to come back for an amendment to the.
yeah, so we'll insert that as a,
Larger. Oh, yeah, a greater. I
Secra
should
is
say.
required once you get over that, right?
Well,
Well, it changes the designation from a accessory use to a primary use, so it would be a different animal. So then you'd be talking about an alternative
So-
type of generator, yeah, on the property.
And now, if, to the code the best code that talks about that, or whichever section of code that talks about the 600 kW, are there specific requirements for that in terms of fencing and stuff like that we need to meet, or is that?
You know
No.
what, I'm gonna say in compliance with.
Right. Because I think that there's issues there that, they may have to look at stuff like that.
Okay.
So are
There
you
is
inserting?
definitely fencing with this that's more and above what you'd usually do with
Right,
anything,
exactly.
so, but I'm gonna put the section of the code in there.
Are you inserting that as a condition?
Yes.
There, with the parameters,
In compliance with that section.
compliance with that code. Okay, with that additional,
Battery or prefer propane?
Well,
Which one do you
It's
want to move forward with?
So I think federally, the carriers have to provide backup power, so
Yes.
it's either or. I think pretty much every single site they have backup batteries, no matter what, for 3 days, and then they have the generator for, longer duration period of time. Also, each carrier likes to have their own generator, but we could try to work around that, obviously. So that's why the batteries is a way better fit for
yeah.
this location. So
That would, so the
Hopefully
bigger
the
battery
new
would be for
stuff
everybody.
doesn't.
Within
Yeah,
those
batteries.
parameters. Okay, with that,
Complies with the code.
with that amendment, do we have a motion for approval? Motion by Tom, second by George, all in favor? Aye, opposed?
Abstain again.
Abstaining?
Thank you.
We have 4 yes and 1 abstention. Thanks so much for your patience, and Tom, as
Thank you for
always.
putting this together. This was very helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah, really, very well.
It's very helpful to have all the background.
Yes.
It's been a long time.
We're going a little out of order because Dave Wilcox is here, and
That's after Dave will do the other
Yes,
work.
yes.
Thank you, thank you.
I asked Dave to, he's on a busy, thank you, folks.
Thanks
Have a
for
good
coming
weekend.
back.
Yeah,
Live and laugh.
we got a brief town board,
Yeah, I apologize. This is not on the agenda. It's a
oh, it's a
walk-on.
walk-on, okay.
In order to accommodate the public hearing at the town board on August 12th, and we just got the referral.
This is a landmark.
So, yeah, this is a landmarks referral from the town board. The property is located at Methodist Point, also known as 1040 Flanders Road. This property, if you drive on Flanders Road over the years, maybe you saw this house across the water by the big dock. It was painted red, white, and blue for a while. The property historically has been a residence and a duck farm. The town owns the property now. It was acquired with CPF under historic preservation, open space, and recreation. And the town is nominating this property for landmark designation. The report that I believe you all got was prepared by Julie Green, the town historian.
She did a great job with that.
Yeah.
It was,
We just for the public record, I'll read a few points from it. Historically, the property is known as Methodist Point, an original name that dates back to the ownership of Captain Charles Smith, 1763 to 1835, who coincidentally is my 4 times great-grandfather. Smith moved to Sag Harbor from Machias, Maine in late 1790s and was a coastal trader and founding member of the Methodist Society of Eastern Long Island and the Sag Harbor Methodist Church in 1809, which coincidentally is how the name became Methodist Point. He moved to Flanders and established a home at Methodist Point after leaving Sag Harbor. Smith died in 1835. His wife, Dorcas Smith, continued to live on the property until her death and is buried at the Flanders Cemetery. In 1857, after the death of Dorcas, an auction advertised the property, read, quote, "That very pleasant and romantically situated homestead and late residence of Captain Charles Smith, deceased at Flanders in the town of Southampton and consisting of about 25 acres of land, on which is a comfortable dwelling house, a barn, and an orchard, and a never-failing spring near the door. The place is particularly valuable for privileges that surround it, such as fishing, eeling, etc., and being nearly surrounded by water." This was published in the Sag Harbor Corrector on October 1st, 1857. In 1858, the Smith family sold the 25 acres to John Griffin for $675, and John's son Samuel Griffin, born 1831. As a young man, he made his livelihood working in the cordwood industry, shipping timber between Flanders and New Haven, Connecticut, before eventually settling down on the family's farm. And in 1884, Samuel established a duck farm on the site. The 4.5-acre property fronting on Reeves Bay contains 3 historic structures, a circa 18th century barn from the Smith era, a folk historian American vernacular style 19th century three-story house from the Griffin era, and a converted 19th century windmill pump house barn from the Griffin area. The structures have been identified as historic resources and contributing structures in the town's duck farming, maritime, and recreational history. The property was evaluated in the town's Southampton Resource Survey prepared by AKRF in 2014 as a potential resource, and each structure possesses characteristics that are historically significant. It qualifies for historic designation under criteria A, C, and E. Criteria A possesses special character or historic or aesthetic interest of value as part of the cultural, political, economic, or social history of the locality, region, state, or nation. Criteria C embodies the distinguishing characteristics of an architectural type, period, or style or contains elements of design, details, materials, or craftsmanship which represent a significant innovation. And criteria E, because of a unique location or singular physical characteristic that represents an established and familiar visual feature of the property or area. So that is the report from Julie Green. As I said, the town board is holding a public hearing on August 12th, and they need a report or a recommendation from you.
It's very comprehensive. I mean, Flanders is a real gem as far as more and more historic sites with the cemetery and the old structures. It's really comfortable. I think we're all supportive of
Yeah.
And the maintenance is handled through CPF, is that how that works?
What was that?
Maintenance of the property is,
Once it's historic, CPF can pay for the
Correct.
maintenance.
Will be open to the public, do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know if they have a firm plan for what they're going to use the property for yet.
You can see it across from that new walkout path and boardwalk, right?
yes,
Okay, yeah.
So our action then is to adopt a resolution in support of the landmarking. Do we have a motion? Motion by
Second.
Gloria and second by Kate. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We have 5 yes. Dave, thanks for your patience. Thank you. Tom, did you have something for us?
We are looking at the West End Community Center. This is,
Community,
second item.
That's going to be on the regular agenda. Will be
regular agenda? Okay. One or two ahead of you. Anthony,
Yeah,
where are
that's-
we?
That
Oh, we have-
that is actually on the new agenda. That is the second thing on it.
Oh, that's the second thing.
Because we already did the check.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, so we did,
Oh, that's number 2 on the agenda.
number two,
The
that's next.
agenda got
Oh,
incredibly
okay.
scrambled from the original.
Yeah. there you go.
Anthony, could we jump, that's on number
Well, that
2
is
on
number
our
2.
agenda. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
jump in, because that way we can go in order, and then we'll. How are you? This is item 2 on the agenda, West Ham Activity Center.
There.
We have Tom Houghton, town engineer. Could we have your name, sir?
It's capital projects.
Thanks.
We were actually on schedule because we took care of the first one. Help yourself. Save us from eating it.
Oh, I didn't eat lunch yet, so.
That's supper between afternoon and evening sessions.
I can kick it off, I guess. I came before you guys last month with the West Hampton Activity Center application. You've placed a condition on the application that lighting poles will be a maximum of 10 feet high. I'm here to request that that condition be relaxed. To go down to 10 feet essentially doubles the amount of required site lighting that we would, or the site lighting poles that we would need to install. It's a significant expense to the town to double the site lighting, and
What kind of height are you thinking of?
proposed on the plans was 16 feet.
16 is.
So it's in
It's a tough
keeping.
one. It's our code.
Well, the code does allow you guys to, I brought it here because I knew this would come up. Does allow the planning board to go higher than that if it's demonstrated to the satisfaction of the board that a greater mounting height would better accomplish the purposes of the lighting article. So again, it's a community center that'll be used by youth and seniors. So we are concerned that the lighting levels are appropriate. We also
Oh, yeah.
want to provide
Lighting.
a lighting design that is economically feasible for the town.
You can understand the quandary we're in, though. We have a whole flood of private party applicants coming in 16-foot poles, and we have to tell them, no, go shorter. And then when our project comes in, 16 is fine. So you're gonna, I think, my sentiment is you're gonna have to bring it down maybe.
See, I respectfully disagree. I mean, we can make full cutoffs, we can meet dark skies, so it's essentially just a height of a
Well,
pole.
the
but-
thing is that every applicant can do that too.
Yeah.
You know.
We understand. If there is a height between 16 and 10 that you would consider, every foot helps us decrease the amount of poles on site. So if 10 is 10, then we'll double the poles and we'll increase the budget and all of that. If we could do 14, 12, like if
Okay
it's-
with 14, I can live with 14. I just
No,
can't,
I
I
mean, it's our
can't,
own
I can't
code.
wrap my
It's-
head.
That's really
around
difficult for
16
us to
foot.
say,
Well,
okay, it's
I-
fine to,
We've
I have a
done,
hard- I have a
we've done
I don't-
14.
14 is substantially more helpful than 10.
Yeah, nothing's written in stone, but.
Of course,
we-
but you still have to answer to everybody else who also asked
Yeah.
for 16. So we understand the board's situation.
You just can't go with
what's
16.
the spread on that? I mean, it would be useful to have some information from our planners to know, you know,
Where we've done
where
more
we
than
can
10.
deviate and what's a reasonable accommodation. I'm feeling a little discomfort with this.
It is a public facility. I mean,
A lot
that's
of discomfort.
part of the balancing here.
It's a public facility for the
this is
public benefit
designed
that
for
is
the community.
frequented by the senior community
Yeah,
at night.
we want you to have enough lighting.
You must have enough lighting. The issue is, it's an
I-
expense, it's an added expense to the town to provide 10-foot poles versus 14-foot poles. And is that enough to justify lowering the standard?
Is Claire reviewing this?
She was, yeah, I don't know where she went.
All right, so why don't, you want to just table it for, take the next applicant, we'll talk and then come back?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I would like to understand where we've increased it beyond 10,
And you know,
because otherwise I think we're opening
Well,
ourselves to
10 is
every-
not written, we've gone higher than 10. 10's not
But
written in stone.
how often have we done that and where?
Yeah,
Very, very understandable.
yeah.
and if you could
Because I
bring
don't want
one
to
of the
leave us
original
open
site
to
plans. and-
other commercial applicants coming in and saying, you gave it to the town.
And you see hundreds of those a year and we're one project, so.
Yeah.
But
We
you don't
ha-
see
we have
hundreds
to-
of town projects.
No.
Again, this isn't a, commercial shopping center for profit. This is for the public benefit. And the lighting would also benefit the public, so.
We want you to have,
Well,
as I say,
we
it's
want
not
it to
about,
be well lit, sufficiently lit, right? But, you know, there's always the case, people who would say, and I agree with that sentiment, that the town should be setting the example in their designs that we require from private applicants. You know, there's no point telling applicants who come in here routinely that you gotta do 10 feet, and then we say, well, you know, we wanna save money, that we wanna go 20 feet. You
Yeah,
know?
we understand that puts you in a tough position.
What?
I said we understand that puts you in a tough position.
Yeah.
We're trying to work within supervisor's budget, but if the board says,
But it's a budgetary issue only, right? One way or the other, you need to provide the correct
Right.
lighting.
let's get some input
The
from
guidance
Claire
on the
and,
lighting code is if it better meets the statute of the lighting code, which in this case, it's not the case, it meets the budget.
Well, I could meet dark skies with full cutoff lights and zero light intrusion onto the adjacent properties. So it really comes down to an aesthetic thing. Like nobody, for whatever reason, has decided that 16 feet is aesthetically objectionable as opposed to 14 feet. I don't know why that was established, but that's what we're discussing, frankly.
have we located Claire or she? So we'll circle back to this shortly.
okay, very good, thank you.
Anthony, you want to jump in with your,
It's going to be very,
this is a walk-on?
it's a walk-on. Just before the property owner to move forward with this, I just wanted to get the planning board's okay. I'll do most of the talking here.
How are you, Jay? Good to see you.
Hi.
Just state us name for the audio record, so we have it.
Jay Schneider.
This is a property located at 244 Little Noyak Path. It's in the Aquifer Protection Overlay District. It's subject to a maximum clearing of 25% based on the size of the property, which would give it 29,717 square feet of clearing. They have an existing clearing of 44,840 square feet, which is 37.7%. I met with Jay to see how they could rectify this through a combination of maybe transferring some clearing rights and revegetation. I advised Jay that typically when the planning board's doing a transfer, they'll go up to the next percentage just to give them some type of baseline to do this. So what Jay was proposing is that they would like to bring in enough credits to get to the 35%, which would allow the clearing of this property at 41,605, and that would revegetate then the remaining. And before his client goes and closes and buys development rights and all the rest, wanted to make sure the board was okay with this.
Is there a re-veg plan we have yet?
Not yet,
They're gonna
not yet.
develop it,
Just like I
okay.
said, before they go through this whole expense, I just wanted to make sure I was in line with our policy. I believe
Mostly
we are.
within that circular driveway. He's got.
Yeah, you can see this property is
driveway,
pretty good vegetation,
plant
but
in there.
happens when people get it.
Are you gonna buy off-site property, or how are you
No,
gonna do that?
the town has some Pine Barrens credits that he intends to.
Yeah, I'm working with Dave Wilcox, actually, who's
Oh,
aware
okay.
of
This
this.
is approximately not a full credit, a little more than half a credit.
And it can be used in this area.
Yeah. The good thing is when we're dealing with this, we try to make it, environmentally, like in a connection, but we don't have to worry about school district because of density purposes
Yeah,
and stuff
right.
like that, so.
But it would be
It all
something,
reconciled, yeah.
it would be in that neighborhood, because I always think of Pine Barrens credits in the west.
Yeah, I gotta see where they're doing this
It's
from.
by
We just-
hydrological zone or something, but it's within the same, it'll be an allowable Pine Barrens credit, and I think the Pine Barrens Commission has to sign off on it as well, right?
Yeah, they do, yeah, when you're doing that.
It's not the Pine Barren Zone, though, this
Yeah,
area.
it's nowhere.
I don't think it's under their jurisdiction. I don't believe.
I'd have to look.
If you used a credit, I'm told they have to sign off. We looked at TDRs, but I guess we can't use TDRs in this zone either, so I think Pine Barrens credits are what is typically applied here.
I've seen on one or two occasions where a Pine Barrens credit has been used. But let me look. I wasn't sure where the credits
Yeah,
are coming
I
from.
mean,
But with the understanding, you still have to approve,
Right.
everything where it's coming from. We got to deal with it. The concept of transferring some type of clearing credit and then revegetation.
we're supportive of the concept, so,
is okay. Where it's coming from, we got to work out.
Gotta work out the logistics.
We're not
The
taking an
owner's
action
trying
or
to
anything.
sell it, the person who's renting it is trying to buy it, he's got I think 6-week-old kid. He'd like to have a little lawn for
Sure.
his family, so, and if there's a mechanism to get up from 25% to 35%, then he will buy this property.
So right now it's cleared more than 35%.
It's just about 37%.
37, yeah.
Just over.
it's
So,
gonna be
and Dave's
accommodated.
already approached me about this, so he's aware of it, so he's looking and working with the
So
applicant.
are we doing any action
No
this time?
action,
This
I
is
just wanted
for
to
the
make
record.
sure.
Need the consent of the planning board to allow for the transfer so that we can get from 25% to 35%.
Combined with
For the
revegetation.
revegetation.
About
Good.
2,700 square feet of revegetation.
I think you're hearing that. We have it on the record to give your client
Openness
certain-
to considering it, right? I mean, you
Right.
don't have all the information at hand, so
Right.
when the application comes in, we can't say, yes, you're gonna get approved.
But the
right?
concept.
Well, the concept, we're proving
Concept.
concept.
Not unheard of.
That you would allow to go up to 35% with the proper
With
credit.
the intended outcome of the credit purchased from that same area, because it is a sensitive groundwater management area.
That's would be
APOD,
my,
right?
Yeah,
Groundwater management really is a question of flow. I don't think there's an issue with flow here. This is groundwater
the
zone 4, I
APOD.
believe.
it is APOD.
It's
Really, it's a question
really
of
clearing.
But
clear.
Yeah,
And it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you can't find the right mechanism, then you've got to do something else.
yeah.
well, typically you can use Pine Barrens credits for
Well, that,
clearing,
that's,
but I can't
that
promise
you
the
work out
Pine
with,
Barrens credit is gonna be from this neighborhood. It's gonna be from the hydrological zone.
It's like a reconciliation,
confirm
like,
that.
People have approached, there are a couple of
Issue.
landowners.
Right, I
don't wanna
don't
mention
know that I
you're
can.
reconciling another account to this
I
account.
know the
It's
town
not,
has some TDRs, but I don't know if the TDRs can be used here.
I
So-
don't know.
Down in the
Well,
Southampton
if the
School
mechanism
District.
is compliant
right.
with the
Yeah.
law, then
yeah.
Right. The
So that's
mechanism
something
will
you
be
work out
compliant
with,
the law. I just
Anthony and
can't
Dave.
promise it's
But yeah,
this
I mean,
neighborhood.
this board
The
can't
original predicate.
approve
We're not
anything
approving
specific
anything.
today.
Dave
We
has
don't
a
have
whole,
anything specific.
Wilcox has a whole list. I mean, there are a couple of landowners that have extensive old file map holdings. And we've seen that in the past. They've made those available to.
Right, there's private credits, is also, the town owns credits.
Yeah.
I think 10 Pine Barrens credits.
I don't know how they can be used. I think there might be limitations, affordable housing or something like that. I don't
So
know.
TDRs, but not the Pine Barrens credits. Yeah, the old Conklin credits the town still has, the money goes toward affordable housing.
Right,
The
it
credits can
replenishes.
be sold at large, but the revenue the town gets must go toward affordable housing.
Good. So I think,
Bill Gaza might have some.
There's a,
Joe Gaza might have some.
In that
credit.
You might
area.
have some credits.
I didn't want to
I'm
put
not
his name on the
joking,
record.
but I'm just.
Notice how I kept his
Well,
name
yeah,
off the
but-
record.
We will do what we have to
Sorry, I'm gonna
secure
call names.
acceptable credits.
Well, that's it, Jay. I think the
Yeah.
plan we're saying is a combination of re-veg and transfer.
Right,
They
right.
are open to, we gotta figure out where it's coming from.
Yeah.
I'll work with Seth and planning department on whatever the re-veg plan is that's acceptable to you.
Good, perfect.
Okay, so that's
right.
it, conceptual.
Conceptually, you're right.
Yes, we're on board.
Good with the
Yeah, he
concept.
doesn't want to close and then find out he can't legalize it.
Ah.
That's the scary part.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk, Jay, and let's look at
Yeah.
where they're coming
No,
from.
we'll get this done.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And I saw Claire.
She's talking to them outside.
Oh, she's talking about that. Anthony, did you want to?
Jump start in my stuff, yeah.
Sure. We'll do another
Number
one.
5,
Number 5? Okay.
Pietrodora, that's the bocce ball courts.
Oh, yes.
So we're gonna do an extension until, is it August 14th, our next meeting? August 14th.
Very good. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Kate, second by Gloria, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstentions, 5 yes, 2 absent.
Is
Okay.
it central?
Want me to keep going?
My fault. Yeah, until we see Claire.
Substantially thinner than mine.
There's staff report and resolution.
You're doing Brown Buddha?
Brown Buddha.
Brown Buddha.
Thank you.
Now, we even number these, Anthony. This is the one that's the old Gillow.
It's a pool contractor. Yeah.
Oh, it was Gillow, okay.
Yeah, the other one that we
There's
do
another
today is
one
the
that's-
Mecox Garden site.
Yeah, but then there's a third one, but that backs up to the Tuckahoe School, right?
Yeah, that one's in the
Oh,
pre-application.
Okay.
Everyone remembers this site.
This is
Brown.
one I'm contributed on.
Yeah, this was a site actually that has full site plan approval, so by and large, what we were looking at was a special exception application. And then, of course, we always look to see what we could do on a site that's already been approved. Highway business zoning district. So it's this site here, pretty well screened. Everything's existing. Good landscaping. So everyone's familiar where the property is. This is for cannabis. It's going to go from a special trade contractor to a cannabis retailer. I'm just looking at the report right now on page 1, and subject to the general and special conditions. We had a public hearing on June 12th, and it was closed with a 10-day written comment period. We didn't get any comments on this application. Secra, this was a unlisted action. The space was just over 4,000 square feet, and the planning board issued a negative declaration on May 8th. We did referrals to the involved agencies. Town engineer provided a memorandum April 7th. It was just a checklist of a few items, but there really wasn't much, as there's not really any site improvements occurring here. Fire prevention is, what did they say here? They didn't say much here, but they would re-review during the formal building review. So just so the board knows, there will be, when you do a building permit application, the fire marshal gets involved again. That's when they start looking at very specific building state code requirements. So nothing here really pertaining to the site plan. Public Works hasn't provided comments yet. And I know they've been going back and forth. What I did was in our resolution, I have a condition in there that a final curb cut permit must be secured from the DPW. I had talked to them. They were going back and forth here. They don't know that they want to put a sidewalk out in this particular location yet. They were raising questions about it. So they're going to either require it or not require it. So if they require it, the site plan will have to show it on there. If they don't, then they don't. But they're still working through that. The Architectural Review Board, no changes to the elevations at this time, but if they do make any changes, including any materials, windows, or doors, they would have to go back to planning and the ARB. The Fire District came back and they're recommending the building be sprinkled and equipped with knock boxes. Highway Department said there are no recommendations at this time. And the Suffolk County Planning Commission on June 13th stated the project is a matter for local determination. We have the general special exception standards. So use will promote the general purpose and intent of this chapter. This is a non-medical cannabis use, and it's consistent with the zoning and land use requirements. The applicant also submitted the radius map. It's actually, I don't even think listed as a requirement, but we do ask that they submit a radius.
What are the special standards, Anthony?
For the setback, you mean?
For the special exception standards for this use?
They're next, actually.
Oh, okay.
These are just the general ones, so I'll do the other one. The plot area is sufficient. It's an existing 38,000 square foot lot for which the improvements were approved by the planning board in 2012. So I think the site is good in terms of size. The orderly and reasonable use of adjacent sites. Again, these are all in the highway business zoning district. This cross-access with this adjacent site to the west has already been opened as part of the previous site plan approval. There's some grade changes here. I don't know that doing a cross-access over here does any good. It doesn't get us to a safer location to come out of the site. So this is already in place, which is good. There's residential zoning districts actually don't abut this property, so there wasn't any transitional setback issues, but we still have the approved landscaping plan in the back that remains intact. So that will just remain. Oh yeah, it says it right there, and so we would maintain that. Site is particularly suitable. Again, it's highway business approved, permitted by special exception, subject to the standards. Not located near a church, school, theater, or any other place of public assembly, not in this location. F talks about compliance with the definition. We don't have a definition of non-medical cannabis, but we do have different standards between medical and non-medical. So we're able to differentiate between the two to ensure this one complies. Access facilities are adequate. They're existing in this case and already established. And again, if it's not there now, no left turns onto Montauk Highway, onto County Route 39, which I believe actually there is a sign there, if I remember correctly, but if not, there will be one. All curb cuts have been approved by the agencies, so they will require a curb cut from the town, although the highway department said they don't have any issues, and that should say the DPW there, not DOT. I'll fix that. Off-street parking spaces. I just wanted to make sure I got this right. So yeah, they're saying that there's 26 parking spaces are required and provided. I actually calculated it's 27 parking spaces are required. It appears only 23 are provided. They're using the parking waiver on this thing. Technically, the parking waiver, this is a cross-access agreement. Really, what you're looking at is a public access easement. Think what you did for Flying Point Road over there, where everybody in the town could go through there. So it really doesn't qualify for the exemption. However, I think they can meet the parking requirement with some sharpening of the pencil. There's storage space in there. There's there's a couple of bays that you could have interior. So I think they can fix that. So we noted that.
I believe also their business model rested heavily on a delivery component.
Yeah. And Brown Boot has been very public about that. They do rely on that. But they can make the numbers work. They're pretty close here.
Yeah.
So.
Good.
We'll get them to fix that.
Good.
Adequate buffers. Again, the rear is buffered from a 2012 site plan. I didn't notice. I could have been wrong about this. No, actually, there's no stuff sitting in the buffer back here. It's actually within the paved portion. But if there was anything in the buffer, I was saying to be removed, but it doesn't look like it's in there. Stormwater collection. Again, this was an approved site plan, which all the drainage had been considered previously. And again, final sign off from the engineer is going to be required. L, no outdoor sales lot, rental equipment or storage areas. there's none of those here, and they would be made a condition of approval. And then M talks about the specific conditions, which we're going to go through now. A, B, and C on the special conditions talk about the separation distances. So I sort of just combine all of those and based on a radius map that we're giving, and the radius map shows there are no schools, community centers, or places of worship, and that all required separation distances have been met. D is the 1,000-foot separation between other facilities. This one is not within 1,000 feet of the closest facility, and I verified with the proximity protection from the state, which is mapped online. E was the traffic analysis. We did a traffic analysis with this. It was prepared by Dunn Engineering, February 2025. Again, none of them are identifying any significant traffic impacts. We're going to do no left turns on the County Route 39. Curb cuts permit from the Suffolk County Department of Public Works. So if there's anything else that they require, they'll be incorporated into the site plan. F talks about buffers and transitional yards. Again, this property actually is not subject to the 100-foot transitional setback, so it's not applicable. But we do have the buffering in the back, nearest the residential properties, and we'll maintain that in this case. G, again, is the transitional setback, and not applicable here. H, the overall appearance layout of the cannabis dispensary. Again, it's an existing building. That's actually very well screened, so I don't think there's any issues there. There's no changes to the building at this time, but it would require ARB if they do anything different. Parking requirements, as we noted before, they have to adjust those numbers. J is about the outdoor speakers. There'll be no outdoor speakers or music, and that'll be made a condition of approval. The pedestrian circulation plan, of course, we got a pedestrian circulation plan when we looked at the traffic study. It wasn't much in this case. Everything sort of hinges on if the county is going to require anything. Yeah. So if they do, they'll be incorporated.
Anthony, on that point, I'd like to suggest that we be in favor of them asking for a sidewalk with a mountable curb. Anywhere that we can improve access. As we know, County Road 39 width is very tight. Wherever we can get a mountable curb that could be used for emergency pull-over vehicles or whatever, I think we should be asking for that.
What I'll say, Tom, is although DPW comments are pending at this time, the planning board notes that a sidewalk in front of, is a preferable design.
And I would put in there with a mountable curb.
Yes, and then, we'll see what they do from there.
We still allow that.
Yeah, but they're looking at bigger picture too. So they're seeing who's doing what,
and they had proposed adding sidewalks a couple of years ago.
Internal debate about this particular site, so it'll be interesting to see what
let's lean in favor of try to lean them that way.
Drive-through windows are prohibited, so we make that approval. The signage regulations, again, signage is subject to review and approval by the planning board, and we incorporate all the OCM requirements. N talks about the licenses. The applicant shall submit copies of licenses and or permits that have been obtained in accordance with all applicable state and local regulations. Security systems, so obviously they'll put together a detailed safety management plan with all of the code-compliant lighting, security cameras, and the methods that they will use to discourage any issues on the site, particularly people hanging out and, because they're not supposed to be consuming on site. Hours of operation will be from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., and we would like to limit the delivery services to those same hours. We've been doing that as a condition.
How do we police that?
I don't have an answer for you, Gloria. I don't. I hear you. I hear you. But somewhere it should be stated because it'll be the next thing. It'll be phone calls coming in, facilities, and traffic coming in at midnight or something.
Code enforcement. Yeah.
Right.
We put it in and see. They should be operating within the. I'm hoping that the regulations through the state also are going to encourage people not to do anything foolish to use their licenses.
They're operating under state licenses, so.
Right.
It's all right. Is there any remaining site plan issues? Lighting is existing. They should just note it on the plan. And we'll put the typical conditions in there. Landscape is existing, and I show the board here. That looks pretty good. I don't know that I would do anything else, but they should note the back as a naturally vegetated buffer.
Is there any requirement for additional lighting because of the security issues?
They haven't proposed any of that.
No, most of the lighting and that they talk about on entrances, exit areas, security cameras at different vantage points, but the state didn't get specific about lighting, so we're going to rely on our lighting code.
Okay.
At this point, unless someone tells me different, we're going to just impose our lighting standards. Let's see. Signage is subject to our approval. Engineering, final engineering sign off, which should be easy. There's not a lot of work done here. Site plan indicates a dumpster enclosure area, fencing and screening details need to be provided. I don't believe a septic system is required. A new septic system is required for this change of use. Screen mechanicals on the roof and on the ground, and then of course we encourage the sustainability design elements into a site plan. And including 2 EV charging stations.
So Anthony, you have a resolution for us? Do you want to just focus on the condition?
Yeah, we'll go right to the condition.
Yeah, why not?
The first one, the first page, it's the resolution adopting the staff report and approving the special exception application of Brown Buddha to convert the 4,200 square foot building into a cannabis retailer. Subject to the following conditions. A is the submission of a safety management plan. Again, demonstrating compliance with all state and local requirements. The applicant shall provide adequate security and code compliant lighting on site to ensure safe persons and protection. Again, this is just language from the state. They don't get very specific. So again, we're going to rely on our lighting code. Good. The areas to be covered by security cameras, again, storage areas, dispensing areas, doors, parking lots, such like that. I know the planning board did impose, they don't want any freestanding video cameras in the parking lots, and that's perfectly fine. But I believe the Office of Cannabis Management does want something on the building facing the parking lot. So I just wanted to differentiate between those two. Signage, again, so we listed the signage requirements, and again, to be subject to planning board approval. E, the applicant shall take reasonable steps to discourage and correct any conditions on site, people hanging out, stuff like that. Not supposed to have any on-site consumption. Submission of copies of all the necessary permits from the Office of Cannabis Management. On-site consumption of cannabis products is prohibited. Drive-through window service is prohibited. Hours of operation be limited to 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and the delivery services shall be limited to those same hours. And the second resolve is the approval of the actual site plan special exception application, subject to the following conditions. A, the town engineer final sign-off. B, secure the curb cut permit from the DPW and incorporate any additional changes to the site plan they require. Depict 2 EV charging stations. Show the dumpster along with the fencing and screening details. Note the vegetated areas in the back as a naturally vegetated buffer, consistent with the prior approved site plan. And add a no exit sign at the entrance to CR 39. Changes to the lighting plan, there really isn't at this point, though. We just say that if new lighting is proposed, new plan would need to be provided with photometric data. The existing lighting should be noted on the plan. Any lighting should be projected downward, and any new lighting fixtures would be subject to a maximum height of 10 feet. Changes to the landscaping plan, really there are none now, other than noting the back as a buffer, which I think. Provide a final floor plan for both the retail building and the storage building, signed, sealed by the licensed design professional. General conditions of approval. All final maps should be signed and sealed by the licensed design professional. 2 EV charging stations shall be provided. All signage is subject to planning board review and approval. All HVAC and mechanical equipment shall be screened. The design of the lighting shall be dark sky compliant for any new lighting. Installation of dusk to dawn lighting fixtures is prohibited. No additional lighting without planning board approval. All lighting shall be shielded downward. Freestanding security cameras which are located within the parking lot are not permitted. That came from a previous resolution. I wasn't here for that one. That's good. Submission of an affidavit indicating compliance with the site plan standards. Obtain all necessary permits from the Highway Department and the DPW. And arrange for a pre-construction meeting with the town engineer. And then to be completed prior to signature, a final town engineer approve. Some of these are repetitive, I think. Well, final town engineer approval, submission of the signed affidavit, and then submission of the 6 sets of plans for us.
How are we handling the sidewalk with the mountable curb condition? Is that a recommendation, or is that?
Well, we do have in there that the plans would need to be subject to final approval from the DPW. They would need to be modified per any DPW requirements. And Tom indicated that we would put in our report, at least, and I could do it, that the planning board's preference would be that they support sidewalk with a mountable curb in front of the site.
So that's going to be, that's not going to be a condition?
It's not going to be a condition, because it's going to be hinges on the DPW.
Okay.
So, Anthony, I mean, these are the first sets of site plans which are specifically requiring security cameras, right? Other site plans that we have, regular site plans, people may add security cameras at the, where they need to, but these actually require security cameras.
Yeah, I think state requirement.
Yeah, but the point I'm getting to is it's a little bit silent as to, you can get pure security cameras, and then you can get security cameras that are packaged with a couple of floodlights. We shouldn't be encouraged, or I mean, I'm assuming we should only be wanting security cameras and not floodlights, which then adds lighting. Sometimes, facing traffic, facing parking lots where it can be. So how do we need to address that specifically?
We'll preclude security lights on the security.
So what I'll say is any security cameras required by the for this project shall not have any floodlighting.
Motion sensor
And maybe
lighting,
we
I
should be
guess.
proactive enough to
Say that again.
Like a motion sensor lighting.
And maybe we should start adding that to other site plans too, for the ones who choose to put security cameras on the
Yeah.
property.
I mean, or you,
Brian Lacazio wants to chime in here.
Okay.
There are certain state requirements.
Hi, Brian. Come on up and just identify yourself for the record.
Brian Lacasio with the Adam Miller Group, attorney for the applicant.
To see you.
We're fine with all this, but there are certain requirements as to lights and cameras that the state does require. So we are going to be subject to those.
They require the lights?
Yep.
and could that conflict with our dark sky compliant lighting?
That's the point I was getting
Right,
at.
Well,
that's,
you could
yeah.
create them with the shield.
That's
and,
what-
I think we could still meet dark sky requirements and lighting
yeah,
code.
you'd have to meet dark sky.
And I think your resolution already, we can't add any lights without your approval anyway. I think you've already covered.
Well, they do say they have to be dark
Say.
sky compliant. We don't differentiate. We just say their lighting has to be dark sky compliant.
If the security camera has a floodlight with it, the floodlight has to be dark
Right,
sky
it's got to
compliant.
have the shielded.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good to know that.
We should, but I'll put that language in there as the board, that, in addition, the security camera that's maybe required lighting shall also be dark sky
Yeah, these
compliant.
are
Shall
not
not
lights
include
that stay on
floodlights
anyway.
and stuff like that.
And someone's at the door, right?
Yeah, exactly. If someone comes in the parking lot at 2 in
Yeah.
the morning, it's going to just
After hours.
scare them off and let the camera record them. It's not something that'll be on all night.
But a lot of cameras now record it.
I just think we have to acknowledge that there are
Record
state
nighttime and
requirements we
color,
have to meet
if
here
you-
under our license. So
It's just confusing the way it's written because it says if any lighting is added or changed, then it has to be part of a lighting plan. So if there is intent, because of
you
the
have a
state
lighting
law.
plan. Like we have some minimal lighting for our walkway we're creating.
Yep.
There is a lighting plan that's been submitted. We've submitted our security plan, but we understand there are town requirements we have to meet, and we of course will meet those.
Okay. Brian, are there any other issues that,
The only question I wanted to discuss was the requirement for the 2 EV parking spaces.
right?
It just seemed like a financial burden. We're just requesting a change of use for an approved site. We're not redeveloping the site. I understand the push and the desire to have those. It's just we're trying to open a retail store, and the requirement to put in the sidewalk was it's an expensive undertaking.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you're not constructing, they're not digging up the parking lot.
Yeah, like if we were laying a new parking and infrastructure, then
You're not doing drainage or any,
nope, it's all there. It's pretty established. So
No, and I have another applicant that's going to discuss this with you today. A couple things I didn't really think of, but just to differentiate, let's say something like Ashley Caprero and Brown Buddha, Bud Hampton, where they are going to be
Redoing
doing a new light. They're near a shopping center. There's a whole. The other people could go there and potentially go somewhere else and charge a car. Someone raised the issue with me today, saying if we have a single-use site like we're doing cannabis, and the Office of Cannabis Men said you can't have people hanging around smoking and everything else. Do you want people sitting there for an hour charging the car?
The only people that are
So
going to be there.
it raised an interesting question, and that's why I just want to be able to differentiate between what we did on, let's say, Bud Hampton versus something like this. For
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a valid point. They're not digging up. I know it's involved in trenching in these EV stations. It's quite extensive if you're not redoing the whole parking lot drainage. So that's a valid point. I think we could eliminate that. Anything else, Brian?
And the DPW has approved our plan, the sidewalk plan, which.
You have a sidewalk plan then?
Yes.
Because I remember when we discussed it, they weren't sure.
But then there was in the meantime, we received a call, or Rayner Group received a call that the county was internally still debating whether or not they want the sidewalk. So while our plan has been approved, there's still a discussion apparently going on whether or not.
Is that the mountable curbs?
I don't know if it's mountable. I have to have that discussion with Min Gaudiel in his office, but.
Well, we should.
Well, we will incorporate that now into the resolution.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, with those two amendments.
Otherwise, no, we were good with the.
Good to go with that.
We appreciate everything.
Okay, do we have a motion for approval? Motion by George, second by Gloria. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
We were okay with the no
5
EV
yes.
spaces, right?
Correct. Yeah, we're going to take
Thank
out the EVs.
Yeah, we'll take
Good, Brian.
Get us those mountable sidewalks.
Claire, we had a
Trade you.
robust discussion on the lighting poles. Anything to shed?
We're gonna just table that.
We're going to
We're
table
gonna table that. I'll talk to them about that. Yeah, so, and I'll look at what,
lot of saber
hear what you
rattling
had
here.
to say, so. We have Bridgehampton Commons.
Bridgehampton Commons, item 3.
Should be pretty straightforward. This is the last facet of the Bridgehampton Commons target.
Hi, welcome.
How are you guys?
Tell us your name for the record.
Brian Kennedy for the applicant, partnered with Porcelli DB Toronto.
Welcome.
So we have latest plans, and this is for the parking lot where they had to go to the zoning board of appeals for the 6 spaces to be waived to create the corral and the pickup, right? Spaces and districts with the walkways and such. So, if you want to see the plans, you're pretty familiar with the site. Okay. So I have passed out a decision with some conditions related to this. It gives a little bit of the history, how we got here. SECRA, it's a third item, it's a type 2 action. The ZBA granted the waiver for the 6 spaces. I described the 2 actions you've taken to date, which is the truck loading dock approval, the signage, front facade changes, and the gray bollards in the front. That was approved on March 13th and the 27th. Public hearing was waived at the June 26th. And no public comments were received during the 30-day written comment period. Referrals were sent to the town engineer, who said it was complete. And then the fire marshal had their comments, which pretty standard comments, which is proposed work shall not impede emergency vehicle access to the property. All requirements for the site plan review, 25-003, and additional fire and life safety concerns will be addressed during the formal building review.
So you've got some conditions for us?
The
Claire?
general conditions, the site plan looks pretty good. Obviously, it's a fully reviewed site, so we're just changing the use and having the parking spaces. The LED light fixtures should be 2,700 K or less. All HVAC systems shall be screens. The lighting code lighting shall be dark sky compliant. No dusted lawn lighting fixtures, no additional lighting on the property. All outdoor lighting shall be projected downward. This is the engineering requirement pre-construction meeting. Compliance with the fire marshal comments, and any and all future signs shall be subject to planning board review and approval. And then just the town engineer needs to issue their final approval on this, and the payment of the engineering fee and the affidavit and successive plans.
Mr. Kennedy, any issues for us?
Thank you for your guidance throughout this process.
Thank you for your patience through this process.
Yes.
Everybody's asking me.
When?
When?
I told you as soon as we got this approval. They expect that the interior alterations will take several months, hopefully early next year.
Okay.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Oh, you have to go to Riverhead.
Okay, do we have a motion for approval?
Motion.
Motion by Gloria.
Second.
Second by Kate, all in favor, aye, opposed, abstentions. We have 5 yes. Thanks so much, Mr. Kennedy.
Enjoy the rest of your
Great,
summer.
you too. Be
Thanks.
safe. Claire, are you gonna jump in
let's
at
do
192?
192.
Item 4, 192, we have a sign.
Yes, this is Peggy. You want to introduce
Hi.
yourself? So we discussed this, I think about a month ago.
Tell us your name for the record, if you could.
Peggy Kelly with Kelly's Expediting,
It's a
21
7-Eleven, right?
50 Smithtown Avenue, Suite 5 in Runcorn, New York.
Thank you.
This is
Well,
7-Eleven in, at 192 West Montauk Highway in Hampton Bays. This is immediately east of Stop and Shop's entrance in the McDonald's. And there was some discussion about the freestanding sign, and the board said, a couple board members said they liked this one better, which is in the village of West Hampton Beach.
Yeah, so interestingly, I drove past, there's a brand new 7-Eleven within the last 2 years on Station Road, just where you turn in to go to Home Depot, to open like about 2 years ago. And they had the exact same sign, which is actually much more, very attractive.
That's this sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one they're proposing. So she worked hard and got corporate to say yes. Went to ARB. They
Thank you.
agreed. And so I don't think any issues with this sign, which was the one on the building.
Right.
So we'll approve the one on the building and this revised
As one resolution.
one resolution. So I passed out a resolution. It doesn't have any findings in it, but it says the ARB approved it. Said that the ZBA granted the variance for the low number of
Colors.
and the 6
Does
foot
this need that
setback.
variance, or is it still has 4 different colors, or is it?
We have 4 different colors on this. We would have liked 5 because we had to remove the orange from the 7 in order to maintain the 4 colors, which are the white, green, red, and black. And the cabinet on this will be black instead of the brown that was proposed on the prior application. And the gooseneck lights on the wall sign will also be black instead of the brown color that was proposed originally. So,
And the on-building sign is not illuminated like we were talking about the McDonald's
It is
signage.
exterior illumination with the goosenecks.
With the goosenecks, right, yeah, okay.
lighting.
Right, exactly, and that's shown on the
Okay, very good.
Much better looking than the
Yeah.
pearls.
It should look good.
Thank you for.
George?
No problem.
Getting
And
this
just to let you know, the base will match the material that's on the bottom of the building,
Good.
the cultured stone that's on the bottom of the building. That will be what the base, we didn't put it on there, but we did make a note that the base will match the building.
Okay, I'm just gonna make a note of that.
Yeah, the base will match the building colors.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Do we have a motion for approval? Motion by Gloria, second by Kate. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Claire, do you have any other? Oh,
I did have that.
oh, you're planting.
I don't wanna cut in front of people, but
Oh, okay.
Area T,
Atlantic Golf Club?
What about Atlantic Golf?
Atlantic Golf.
oh yeah, that's to set up, that's the easy one. That's to set, the maintenance bonds for, the amount of $16,500 for the landscaping plan associated with the, staff quarters for
Very
the
good.
golf
Do we have a
course.
motion? Motion by George, second by Kate. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent.
I'm trying to keep,
Mr.
my
Martin
notes are in shambles because
Chomping
of
at
all
the
the
bit.
changes.
What are you in for, Dave?
RET.
RET, okay.
13.
I'm sorry if it's Peter, I'm not quite sure who's doing
Vin?
this. No,
Kevin.
Vin Corrado, did we have him come in for McLean? That's what's,
A Zoom?
he's our,
Putting him on now.
great.
He's coming in now.
He's our traffic consultant on
This
this.
is item 13. It's on for seeker, RET.
So RAT, we're doing secret for the zoning board of appeals. There were some questions as we were reviewing the secret about traffic. So they had a traffic report completed. And then we hired McLean Associates to review this. And we discussed this, at a meeting pretty recently, I'm not quite sure, June maybe?
But 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry, could you just repeat the applicant again, because I'm.
RAT? RAT?
Item
Oh,
13.
Okay,
Item 13.
Yeah, number 13?
Yeah.
That's great. So, the applicant had provided the information, McLean had provided a report that we went through that day, in June, yeah, it was back in June. And, then they were gonna come back with some traffic information, right, for accidents?
Accident analysis
Yes.
in the area,
Mhm.
which we've done. We have a report from
Mhm.
our consultant that went to LKMA. I think
Right.
we're all on board.
Right, so Vin is here, so you wanna, outline that, Vin? Do you wanna introduce yourself too?
Sure, Vin Corrado from LKMA, 437 South Country Road in Brookhaven. Like Class said, we had reviewed the initial traffic study, and we had made some comments which were addressed by the applicant's engineer. The only outstanding issue was we were concerned that about potential crashes along. There was no crash analysis provided in the original report, so we asked the applicant to investigate crashes along that stretch of Montauk Highway. They looked at about a quarter of a mile in total along there, and did an analysis of crashes over the last 3 years that have taken place there, and there is no evidence that people are forcing their way into the stream of traffic and causing left turn crashes or right angle crashes. So what they had provided essentially effectively addressed the only real traffic safety comment we had. There were some other minor site plan things that we made recommendations for. We did not receive an updated site plan, so I don't know if any of them were looked at, but I repeated them in the brief memo that I provided to Claire today, none of which really present any safety issue, just some things based on preference of myself, and the truck circulation, potential truck circulation really is it's a site plan issue for the town that the town might want to resolve. I don't know if the applicant has provided any of the information on the site plan comments that we made.
Oh, what I was thinking with related to this, because we're at the stage of SECRA, environmental review, and not site plan yet, is that we'd have it part of his comments, which are located on page 2. He's got 2 sets of comments, one and 2, and then 1 through 5, which seem to be site plan related with bike racks and things like that. I'd incorporate these exactly into your part 3 for the SECRA, and they would have them as conditions to make sure that we're addressing them during the site plan review. Does that sound fair, Vin?
Yeah, it does. And again, as was on previous applications, subject to SCDPW approval of the access to the county highway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll make
Yep.
sure that's clear in there.
You know,
Okay.
we had asked for sidewalk along the site frontage. That's county's discretion.
Right.
And I think we were asking to explore the idea of a center turn lane. Did we have discussion of that?
We did look at it. It was really in the context of potential delays on the roadway, Tom. And again, we don't see the need for it, but if the county wants to explore it in the future, it would be an improvement to the county highway. We did say in our comment in our original study that the county might consider a dedication for future widening to provide the turn lane.
Okay.
Okay, good. Claire, did you have any prepared or?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I have the documents prepared. Pass that out. This is the
Distribute.
part 2. So I just quickly change the checks on this document. So I'll update them to have this date. I did update the part 3, which is attached.
And you're going to incorporate all those?
Yeah, so I said small to moderate for everything, and under traffic, you can see I said add the language.
Oh, okay.
I'll include
You're
one
just
and
gonna insert-
two, 1
right.
through 5, and I'm gonna make a new 6, to make sure this, county approval, the DPW approval. So I'll add that. Otherwise, this is ready to be adopted as a neg deck, and then we'll, give it back to the, other involved agencies. Which is the
Great. Gil Martin, is there anything?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Okay, so then our first action then is to, I guess our action then is to adopt a negative declaration as amended by Claire and the staff report. Do we have a motion? Motion by Tom, second by George, all in favor. Aye, opposed, abstentions, 5 yes, 2 absent, that's the neg deck, that's the only action.
That's the only action today. It's going back to the zoning board, yes.
Are we gonna deem complete or for?
No, it's been, it's either deemed incomplete right now, or we don't have an application to act on yet.
We don't have an application, okay.
The application's a site plan application, but it's what you need to do the secret process. And we took lead agencies.
Okay,
So we go back to the zoning board, go through
Oh, I
that
see, that's right,
process, and
the
then come back
ZBA,
for
yeah.
site plan.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha, okay. Thanks so much. Mr. Gil Martin.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Vinnie.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah,
Thanks again for
thanks-
letting me
thanks
jump
for
the line.
coming. I don't see Anthony here. Claire, you might as well.
Do you want me to wait for mine? I think mine are like cleanup items
Oh, okay.
at the end, so.
Seth is here, Prina's
If anybody's
here.
here with an applicant.
Let's see, who has applicants here? Let's go back into the agenda. What's that?
I'll have Hampton's Collective.
But we need Anthony for that.
Oh, Anthony, yeah, we need Anthony for that. Let me just work through our agenda. Seth, you're on Verizon. Are you ready to go with Verizon?
Yes. I
Okay,
have,
item 9.
We are going to be signing the plans today, but we found a little clerical error where I had to note, I had to put a condition of it being white.
Oh.
Upon waiting for a true color, I just used it as a placeholder, but I need to get rid of white in the conditional approval. So I had put together a resolution stating that it would be changed to a non-reflective color such as gray, silver, or light blue as the condition. And furthermore, we'll add that they will have to file a notarized affidavit stating that not only is the May 22nd, 2025 conditions need to be followed, but these amended conditions as well.
Is this in the village property? This isn't the one in the village.
1665 is Sag Harbor Turnpike before the train tracks going into Sag
Oh,
Harbor.
It's actually the Verizon building.
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
It's in the back.
We had another
They're
one.
replacing
Opposite the
one of the
recycling.
doors,
Yeah,
Yeah.
So this is just a clerical catch before
Clarification.
we
okay,
sign the plan.
good. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Kate, second by Gloria, and all in favor? Aye, opposed, abstentions, 5 yes, 2 absent. Anthony, perfect timing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Seth.
What's that?
Yeah, there you
Did
go.
your mouth just walked out?
I didn't hear.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Dave, so.
Oh, okay. Seth, do you want to keep going?
I'll keep going.
Sim,
11 Fox
it's
Hollow.
item 10.
Number 10.
Item 10, we're just doing an order until we
Yeah,
get.
yeah. Oh, number 10, I'm sorry, yeah. Number 10 is 11 Fox Hollow Drive, Sim Realty.
Yep,
Okay.
that's a
So
covenant
this is-
amendment, right?
This is a covenant amendment. Let me hand out.
It's one of those standard,
Yeah, it's fairly standard. This one came in just recently. It was, let me hand it out first off. There we have it. Yes, so 11 Fox Hollow is lot 25 in the Sim Realty subdivision from 1986. That's a 37 lot subdivision. The covenants on those lots were allowed 20% allowance for clearing. In this case, a 35% would be applicable per APOD. The current lot clearing on this site is 31%, so we don't have an overclearing situation. It's 25,583 square feet of the 82,226 square foot property. I should note that there is a 50-foot non-disturbance easement on the property, which has not been violated either. In looking at the Sim Realty subdivision, this would be the 5th covenant amendment that would be permitted, 2 of which did have had overcleared past the 35%. Those 2 did do a subsequent revegetation. That is not the case on this one. 31% is still compliant with APOD.
Right.
So I would suggest that following the other lots, 36, 22, 4, and 10, lot 25, it would be,
These are a little difficult because, we just had one come in and we had a long discussion about it, that, people are purchasing the lots knowing that they have a restriction and the whole subdivision purchased into the property with those covenants as well. And, then the covenant's not holding up. What does that say for the rights of the other neighbors who purchased in with that restriction maybe in mind?
Well, there were a number of maps that came in where this was during that transition period where they were drafting the APOD regs. And what was happening is they were slapping covenants on these maps, some more restrictive. But what happened was when the APOD regs came in, the intent is now to bring all these lots up to code.
So what's the
bring them into
timeline
compliance.
for this one? When was the subdivision?
84 was APOD in April of 84, and this was 86. But that is the time frame where these things were being discussed.
Yeah.
They had put on not only these clearing restrictions, but a 50-foot buffer, which is a sizable buffer.
Remember, when APOD went in, it was 2 phases. The first phase was on tracts, and then the second phase was on lots, and that's what's capturing these. We have a number of these in Quogue, a bunch of them Northside Hills, and those in Noyak area. So as we get them in one by one, we bring them to compliance with the APOD.
Yeah, I would just suggest that APOD is, I believe, a good restriction. It is an appropriate amount of clearing. So 20% does, I guess it's to each his own. But if they knew about the 20%, they are granted by town code some the less restrictive of the rules, which has been done on 5 times.
For me, it doesn't settle well because if when somebody purchases the property, they see those covenants on. They have full awareness of that when they're purchasing in, and then it undermines.
But there's a
lot of the things
disparity
that we're
because
looking at.
the covenants are in conflict with our code.
I understand, but what if somebody purchased their lot thinking, oh, there's covenants on all these lots for only 20% clearing, that's the lifestyle I want to live, and then we're undercutting that, right?
They probably buy it with the understanding that covenants can be amended, and probably would understand that the intent of our board over the years has been to bring it up to the APOD standards.
So is there a way to find out what the feeling of the neighborhood is so that we're fair?
How many we've done in this? I know we've
This
done.
would be the 5th. There's 37 lots in this particular subdivision. We had them in 2007, 2012, 2010, 2017 was the last one. But yeah,
I'm sure we'll get more.
And these are the only ones who have discovered they've overcleared. There's likely many who have overcleared and probably.
Yeah, they come up as they want to build out a larger or an accessory. They see that they are actually in violation of the covenant, and that you are entitled to the less restrictive town code. At any rate, they have been granted before, so of course, it's your discretion.
Yeah, but it would be counterproductive if others have already gotten it for us to not.
Right, yeah.
So that's.
Thank you for the context on the
Yeah.
APOD timing, because that settles better.
It was
with me on that.
a wacky area of.
I have a lot of
veterans
history in my
remember.
brain, but I didn't have that one. Okay.
And I would just say at the end, the 50-foot buffer does still stand, so.
Okay.
That is,
Just to add, there's a handful of those subdivisions that happened after that got restrictive clearing that's worse than or more restrictive. There's one that they restricted it to 11,000 square feet after 1989.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They went, so
That's
you know.
a different ball of wax.
Different ball of wax, yeah.
Yeah. There might have been some natural features they were trying to protect, so.
But we don't have the answer to that here, right?
Yeah.
Like, so on the covenant language, what was the intent?
It was non-disturbance in every, I mean, it was well descripted. It was do not burn your garbage in there, no topsoil over 2 inches to be removed or put on top. I'm sorry,
what was
that's
the intent?
that's the non-disturbance area. No, it was just, do not disturb more than 20%. I mean, I can go through the covenant. It was your common language on, you're allowed 20%, and the rest is to remain.
But there wasn't an intent linked to it. Typically.
Not that I could discern. I think it was a sign of the times.
Yeah, they were trying to do what we ultimately achieved through our code amendment.
Or groundwater aquifer protection.
Groundwater, yep. Aquifer protection, exactly. Exactly. There was a lot of study and science went into these regs. So.
It is useful to read the covenant so you can see what the intent was, right? Because I understand there's a close linkage, what you're saying. Typically, that language is in the covenant so that we know exactly what they were thinking.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, this was done right as the regs were being formulated and drafted, and it was.
Christine mentioned, a public hearing is always an option.
So then you would know if the neighbors
It's
had an issue
useful, I
about
think,
it.
if that's an
It's up to you.
option,
Just saying
because
that.
I think a lot of these, we want to be able to consider and have people be able to use their properties in the way that they want to, within context of the laws and, maybe there was one happened with chicken or egg. So I think it would be a good policy for us if there are covenant amendments that we do have a public hearing so that we can just understand what the neighborhood thinks.
Okay.
Sometimes, so.
That's our option?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's a good policy. So why don't we go?
I would ask for us to do that in this
Just
case,
set
and
a
then
public
we
hearing.
can
When is our next,
consider what to do going forward with these.
Kristen, do we know when our next hearing date on this would be? Be August 28th or? So our action then is to set the public hearing for the covenant amendment on Sim Realty Lot 25 for August 28th, and that's a motion by
Thank you.
Kate and second by Tom. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We have 5 yes.
We'll make it happen.
Good.
Okay.
Then we can act the following, depending on.
Sure.
Anthony?
I think there's some,
Sorry, I'll bring him back on if you want. Sorry.
I think it was the applicant.
Who's on?
That's Will Shapiro. I think it's Will Shapiro, the applicant.
On this map?
The one we just
Oh, okay.
put the public hearing.
You want me to bring him back on? Or?
Does he wish to be heard, or? I didn't know someone.
Yes, it is.
If he's still available, we can take his comment.
I'm bringing him back on now.
Great.
Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, we can. Can state your name, please?
Yes, William Shapiro. I'm the attorney for the homeowners and the applicant on this. Does the board want me to send out notice to the neighbors on this before the next hearing, or?
Will, it's going to be like any other public hearing. We're going to get everything ready, and you'll get a phone call. We'll give you the mailing list and the poster.
You got a poster sign, and
Perfect.
we'll walk you through it.
Okay, thank you. That's it. And if any of the neighbors have any comments or objections, I'll be happy to field them.
Great. Great.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks, Mr. Shapiro.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Anthony, did you want to?
Want to go back then?
Yeah, we might as well jump back in the, well, actually.
I think Dan Goodman.
David Goodman? That's Cleaner's application.
Yeah.
No, we have Hampton's.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
What's the, what are you doing?
I thought you were going back in order. So I was going
Oh, Hampton Collective, I'm sorry, yeah, let's do that.
The original law on the clearing, so it would be unconstitutional. So there was a period of time
that the
Yeah.
planning board was putting the clearing restrictions on in anticipation of that litigation getting resolved.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
sorry,
was,
sorry, no, that's, I was supposed to keep.
You were there and I was around.
I wasn't there for 10 years. I just heard about it.
I was actually there. I was actually doing some private work on my own.
You have 25 other homeowners coming in saying, I want that.
Sure, then that's fine. That's the asked question asked and answered, right?
Yeah.
But the question has been asked and there's no answer yet.
Board here. So this is the Hamptons Collective. This is another cannabis retailer. This is 257 County Route 39, just to the east here of North Main Street. This is the Capri site next door, I believe.
The garden center.
Yep, and this is the Garden Center site.
Peacock Gardens.
Frankenbacks.
Yeah, Frankenbeck.
Big
Right.
tennis.
Going right way back.
And also a very attractive site. You can see from the front elevation here, landscaping looks good. Everything's pretty nice. So this is largely some site improvements, but mostly a change of use. So the first document is the report there. There'll be a lot of similarities. So you know where the property is, you know what the application's for. So it'll be this building here, and then the storage building attached to it. And then the rest of the site will be used for the existing use. We had a public hearing on June 12th. It was closed with a 10-day written comment period. We did get comments in this case. They wanted to verify that the Hamptons Jiu-Jitsu does not constitute a community facility per the town code and the state for distances purposes. Parking from the adjacent Capri site is a problem, so they raised objections to having cross-access that would allow the parking problem to be exacerbated. And they want to maintain and enhance the buffer in the rear of the property. You can see here, this is where it adjoins the residential districts. Actually, that's not completely true. It joins residential back here. This property sitting here is actually in the highway business zoning district as well. I got nervous because I thought I missed a transition setback. So you would measure the transition setbacks then from the residential. This was a type 2 action under secret in this case. Referral comments, we referred to the town engineer on April 7th. He said he had no further information was necessary. But we'll do a final review and a final sign off from the engineer.
Anthony, out of curiosity, is the jiu-jitsu place does not qualify as
As a community center or something?
or a school?
No. We got into the weeds a little bit with some other applications. The Office of Cannabis Management, their regulations define very clearly.
Okay, I was just for my own.
It's basically a gym within the Hamptons Jiu-Jitsu is in the back. So if a gym, same thing is not, okay. Yeah. So,
I was just curious as to, I thought that was a good question.
Yeah, no, that
the community asked.
Yep, we've inquired. Office of Fire Prevention came back, didn't have any specific comments. They'll do another review at the time of building permit application. DPW hasn't come back, but their plans show bike racks on there. So my guess is they've already been to the DPW. Your plans also show some sidewalk work in there being redone in accordance with some DPW. So
we've been to the DPW. They came back with a plan, but as it turns out, 90% of it was done already, I suspect, through the original.
That was the other side of it. As you look, you could see.
Right, yeah.
So whole sidewalks there.
So we have very little work to do, but they're renewing that permit. I expect that soon.
I'm assuming it was they who asked the bike racks, or did you willingly put them in?
I believe that was a vestige from that prior application that we're finalizing.
Just wanted to make sure. Fire district came back and they did, by the way, no changes to the building at this time. So no ARB approval, other than the storage building, I should say. Fire district came back, they are recommending sprinklers and equipped with Knox boxes. Highway department said there were no recommendations at this time. The planning commission did come back. I graded out because I couldn't find it, but then I didn't realize the planning commission did a memo for 3 projects in the same. So they did provide comments. It's a matter for local determination. No surprises there.
Anthony, sorry again to interrupt, but on both these applications, sprinklers and Knox boxes, are they already there, or is that something that has to be added?
That's something that gets, we typically don't get involved in something like that, so what happens is they recommend, they're recommending a sprinkler. What's gonna happen is when they go in for a building permit application, that's when they start looking at the New York State Building Code requirements. That will dictate what has to be sprinkled, where exit lights have to go. So they put it in there. They put it in a recommendation for sprinklers, but that gets determined at the time of a building permit application, and it's based on certain conditions. 3 stories, I think automatically it throws it into a sprinkler. I don't know all of them, Glorian.
Okay.
But
I was just curious as to, this is the second time I've seen this today.
Yeah. It does come in, so we just put them in there. That's their recommendation. And
Thank
they'll
you.
work that out in the building department application. General standards, again, uses in harmony with the intent of the chapter. Again, it's a special exception use subject to the standards for which this board reviews. Is the plot area sufficient? This property is over 90,000 square feet, for which the improvements were subject to a site plan approval going back to 2007. It includes the landscaped area in the back, so I think it's good. The proposed use will not prevent the orderly and reasonable use of adjacent properties. If anything, what we're hearing about is spillover from the Capri here into this property, not vice versa. I looked. There's some grade changes, there's improvements. We didn't get into cross-access with some of these site plans previously, so I didn't know if it was something we just want to.
Is there a cross-access opportunity on the site?
I don't think so, because I think as you get towards, that's North Main, that you have the Kropinski property.
Yeah.
And that blocks it with.
There's a building right in the way there.
The problem is, back here, we have to have a transition back here, so nothing could go back here.
The other thing is we didn't want to encourage the Capri parking, which has been a security issue for us for.
And it sounds like a nuisance issue for the neighbors on that road.
It is, and they took, for their part, they do have the fence that they have here trying to prevent a lot of spillover.
I mean,
into
it
that
would
property.
seem to me the cross-access to North Main would make sense because that gets you to a light to go east.
If you look at the
but
improvements,
it's problematic.
physically prevent it.
It's one of, on the other hand, you simply could put in a future cross-access.
That's what I was going to
agreement
suggest. We have
that's
the,
not established, not set, and it's contingent on a whole bunch of things. I mean, a lot of conditions have to
because
happen.
we have the opportunity now, and if Capri ever changes
We're not going
use,
to open it. We're not going to
you know,
send them
and
anywhere.
it's
'cause there's nowhere
beneficial
to go,
to
but
have
that's-
it. You know, at least we have the opportunity to use it.
General cross-access.
Yeah.
So long
We're not
as,
requiring
as
it-
there's a discussion at the time that you're asking for it, so we
We're
can
not
talk about.
asking that you
or
put it in right
hopefully
now,
won't
we
be
just have-
me.
No, I mean, because a lot of things would have to happen to make it work. The idea is that you want to get people to the controlled intersection. So if that doesn't happen smoothly,
of course,
so I think you would be okay, Dave. I think we would just do a future.
As
So I
long
think
as there's
we'll add that
future
to the
discussion
resolution.
about it
Yeah.
before you ask for it.
'Cause
Generally, you ask for it, we have to give it.
Right.
Right, but
if this,
it's problematic at the moment, but maybe that property might change.
But it involves a legal instrument to be recorded on this.
it does. So I think
Yeah.
if you would ask to have a work session or whatever venue works for the board to further discuss where the property's at vis-a-vis the uses on either side.
So
We're happy to come back and talk about it.
if
see
and
it
when
makes sense.
determined to be feasible or something like that.
It makes sense.
Right.
I think that's fair.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
So we
I don't know how we
asking,
word that,
we
right?
asking,
Good luck drafting that one.
Well, are we asking for a commitment to future cross-access based on discussion of,
Well, I mean, we've done future cross-access covenants, for example. It's a restrictive covenant or something, a legal instrument that simply says that a potential future cross-access will be contemplated with the property to the east, to the west, at the planning board's discretion and based on, circumstances that would warrant it. Right?
Compatibility with
It wouldn't
the
put them on the
adjoining
hook
Right.
to open up a cross-access right now. But
I mean, that's happening on the western end of 39 now, where we have had agreements since the mid-2000s, and now they're getting.
I mean, admittedly, right now, I couldn't get anybody anywhere based on the site
Can we
plan.
do it subject to a future discussion, the cross-access
Well, I think
agreements?
that's what the general cross-access is that, right? Is like, well,
No,
we
I
need
think
to
it's
talk about
automatic.
it.
I think we as an applicant or property owner say, we're giving you the right, and it's the planning board in their sole discretion can enact it. Here, what I'd like to do is soften that so that the future owners or the future people dealing with this can come to the board and.
You can say future cross-access, you agree to future cross-access pending a
Subject
work
to-
session with the planning board.
Yeah,
Should the other
something
property
along
owner
those
come in with the site plan.
Well, that's the other side of it is I don't have anything on these properties, so
You need something- you need them
so I
to
got
come in.
there's a lot of
Capri
things
would
that
love
have to
it,
happen.
Right,
Yeah.
they'd
Right.
love to be able to access our parking.
I could put in the wording that we could.
Subject to a future work session.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was C. Again, this one is subject to, so they do somewhat show it on the plan. Just they should denote the 100-foot transitional setback on here and note it as a transitional buffer. That's what we're going to.
Okay.
We sort of noted it as 300, so.
You did. You showed the closest point of the cannabis facility, but you're only required to do 100 feet in the buffer. So, is the site suitable? Again, it's zoned HB, and of the two zoning districts, the town determined appropriate. Again, we got a radius map. It doesn't show that it's near any schools, theaters, recreational areas of public assembly. F talks about the non-nuisance industry and the definitions of the code. Again, we don't have a definition, but we do have different regulations for the two, so we reviewed this one under those regulations. Access facilities are existing. Again, I believe this is shown right turn out only.
Correct.
And then there'll be no left turns from here as well?
Excuse me.
That makes sense.
What was I don't remember, because if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you can't make a left turn.
You really can't. I mean,
No.
it's almost, it's self-regulating. You
Yeah.
almost can't do it. But we'll put it in. We've been
Yeah.
doing it
Well,
as a matter of
there
practice.
is a turning lane there.
That's the incentive to get the cross-access going.
Doesn't the site plan show, we talked about this at the earlier meeting, when your traffic guy was here.
Because this one says no right turn, the one on the east side seems to be the open to.
I
both
think,
turn.
right, I think the east side was in and out, the right side was out only right
This
turn.
is out on, yeah. But this is a two-way, but, and they're reducing
There
the,
was no restriction on the eastern one, I don't believe.
you don't recall that? Do you think there should be?
We've been restricting it on all the other County Road 39 projects. No left turn. The signal there, it's a little different, right?
And you do have an opportunity to get across when
You know best, Tom.
traffic is stopped.
And again, we don't, right now, we don't have, I think they looked at the accidents, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think it was significant here because of the light and
Right. The light does give some opportunity to
to get out.
brake, yeah. Break in the traffic.
It's just that because it's two lanes there, if one person stops closer to the center line and then the person, is it one or two?
One lane.
You can see.
I think there may be
It's-
a turning lane.
It's 2 eastbound, 1 westbound.
One westbound, okay,
And there is a center turn lane there.
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Well, when we get to the resolution, we could resurrect the issue as well. See if we come up with a new solution. Again, I highlighted the cross-access. I think we have the wording now that we'll put something in place subject to a discussion with the planning board. H, they'll secure the curb cut, which looks like they're well in the process with the DPW. The parking requirement is being met, and quite frankly, we have a lot, we can get some land bank parking if we really needed it back there, but this parking lot's usually pretty open. So yeah, 30 parking spaces required, 33 provided, adequate buffers. So they actually have an approved landscaping here. The landscaping actually looks really good back there for the approved plan. They do have a landscaping plan that shows some more evergreen-like hedge, like towards the back. My resolution does just say augment it a little bit more, in away from the property line, just to really fill it in from the adjacent property.
Okay, can I ask a quick question on it? What's the blue lines at the back of those?
So
is that a cross?
I don't want to go down this path, to be quite honest, because these are shown on this map as vegetated buffers.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
As you could see,
I
I was hoping it was a cross access.
That's what I thought. That's why I asked.
It's not. It's their buffers, and
They're not, they're being buffered by cars.
yeah. So anyway, that's why they want to go there. But so yeah, that's
Good try. I thought it was like a cross-access easement. That you had in the back, so. Future road or something like that, but.
K, collection disposal of stormwater. Again, everything, Tom didn't have any further comments. Everything's existing. The drainage is really good on this property. No outdoor sales lot, rental equipment. I had to differentiate on this one because we have another use on this property. So I want to note that the proposed project does not include any cannabis-related outdoor sales lot. There's outdoor sales there, so I just want to be differentiated. And M talks about the specific standards, which we'll go through quickly now. Again, A, B, and C are the separation distances from schools, churches, and everything. They gave a radius map. There's nothing over here, so they're okay there. D is the 1,000-foot radius from other cannabis facilities. They have proximity protections from the state. E is about the traffic impact analysis, which they did do on this one. We got it from Dunn Engineering in February 2025. Again, none of them are really showing major, buildup of traffic and huge numbers of cars. Ultimately, I think initially when these places open, there will be, but it will whittle down. So there's some of the things we could do. No left turns in the County Route 39. They're going to secure the curb cut permit from the DPW. They're reducing the size of the easternmost access point, so that's good. It's pretty wide over there. The bike racks are provided, and we'll put in some language for the future cross-access, so we could address that. The parcel's of sufficient size. Again, it has a full site plan approval. It's over 90,000 square feet, and the buildings are existing. G is about the transitional setback. This one is subject to a transitional setback, which we noted. So they'll note on the plan and show it as a vegetated buffer, which is mostly vegetated now. There's no changes to the building. Actually, it's a very attractive site, so I think it looks really nice there. So I think it's in character with the community, nothing new. Parking requirements have been met. There's going to be a prohibition of any outdoor speakers, music, and public address systems. The pedestrian circulation plan. Again, they're working with the DPW. We have sidewalks here, so anything else that they could possibly do with that will be incorporated. I think it's good. Drive-through windows are prohibited. M are all the signage requirements, which we incorporate into all of our resolutions, and it'll be subject to board's review and approval. N, they'll have to secure and submit all the necessary licenses, state and local licenses and rent approvals. The security system requirements, so they'll have to give the detailed security plan, which includes, of course, cameras, lighting, and all that stuff. They do show a lighting plan here, so I will go through the few items on this. And again, the applicant should take whatever steps to discourage people from hanging out. 10 to 9, operate for the retail hours, 10 to 9 for the delivery service. Let's see, and then the planning board shall incorporate all applicable fire marshal requirements into the final approval. The lighting plan, so they do have a lighting plan, so they need to bring that Kelvin down to 2700. Reduce the illumination levels. There's a few, Dave, that are creeping over the property line a little bit. It doesn't concern me so much when it creeps over a little bit on the road. You know, it's the adjacent property, so they could very easily fix the lighting plan to address that. 10-foot mounting height, and then the downward projection for all lighting. 10 feet. The landscaping, existing buffers and landscaping for the 2007 approved plan. Additional landscaping to augment the existing vegetation was made a condition of approval, and it should be shown on the as a transitional buffer on the final plan. Signage must conform to the special exception standards to be reviewed by this board. Final engineering approval. The site plan indicates a dumpster enclosure area, so just provide the fencing and screening details. New septic system is not required for this project. The mechanical shall be, or new mechanical shall be screened. And sustainability elements that we ask that you include, including 2 EV charging stations.
I just had a quick 2 questions. One, it's gravel right now, right? And it's planned to stay gravel?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then I don't remember correctly, we had another application come in where there was 2 uses within the proposed cannabis. How does that, what is the actual rule about the number of uses?
So, number of uses. I'll stand up here. Number of uses. There's nothing in the code specific about number of uses as it relates to cannabis. So whatever the number of use regulations are based on the size of the property in the HB zoning district, so you allow 1 use per 20,000 square feet.
Okay.
Unless it's an office use, and then it changes. So number of uses is an issue here, and as in terms of the mix of uses, aside from the separation distances from as required by the Office of Cannabis Management, and specific no residential uses can be mixed in with it. Other uses are okay, and subject to whatever our zoning limitations are.
There are some limitations from the Office of Cannabis Management. You can't have an alcohol, there are different types of uses.
You can't have a candy store
We had an
with
issue with
kids.
another one that was trying to do, there was like a residential,
You're like,
like an apartment or something was, and they were like, no,
right.
no, you can't.
Yeah, I just
This
couldn't
is-
recall exactly what it was, so just making sure.
No, I was just gonna say, I think on that, there was another application where they were gonna have 2 uses in the same building.
Yeah, and it was going to be
Like a
like,
bakery and a.
yeah, it was going to be food, and that was the
Okay,
question.
so maybe that was the.
That was
But
the
I
one.
think that's
that's
prohibited.
Alcohol behind the Carvel.
Yes, yeah, the big one, the barn.
Okay,
Anthony, you have
so
a
anyway,
resolution for us also? Do you want to just take us to the conditions?
Yep, so the first page, the resolve adopts the staff report July 24th, 2025 is amended for our discussion, and approves a special exception application of the Hamptons Collective to convert 2,600 square feet of existing retail space into a cannabis dispensary, subject to a number of conditions. A, the submission of the safety management plan. Again, this language all comes from the Office of Cannabis Management and our code, so I did verbatim. B, security and code compliant lighting and safety provisions. Exterior lighting shall be dark sky compliant. It does stay in here, so we do note that.
Should we keep in mind what the previous discussion about?
Yeah, we're going to add the same language that we
security
did before
camera
about
lighting.
security cameras.
Right.
So we will add that in there. Right there, we talk about the security cameras and what they cover. D is about the signage and the requirements or the limitations, and again, it's subject to further planning board approval. E, the applicant shall take whatever steps to discourage objectionable behaviors on the site. Submit copies of all permits and licenses as applicable. On-site consumption of cannabis products is prohibited. No drive-through service. Hours of operation for the retailer is 10 to 9, and the hours of operation for delivery services shall be limited to 10 to 9 as well. And then the second resolve is the approval of the site plan special exception application. I listed all the plans here, subject to a number of conditions. One, changes to the site plan, whatever the engineer requires prior to signature of the final maps, per the final requirements of the DPW, the 2 EV charging stations, the dumpster fencing and screening details, note the 100-foot transitional setback vegetated buffer in the rear, add a no left turn signs at the access points on the 39. Changes to the lighting plan, bring the Kelvin down to 2700, reduce the illumination so that the foot candle is not spilling over on the adjacent properties. Show compliance with the mounting height of 10 feet. Changes to the landscaping plan, provide additional plantings in the rear of the property in order to provide substantial buffer from adjoining residential properties, native trees and shrubs. They do have some evergreen along the line there, so that's good. Final floor plan for both the retail building and storage building, signed and sealed by the licensed professional. General conditions of approval, all final maps signed and sealed by the licensed design professional. 2 EV charging stations shall be provided. All signage shall be subject to planning board review and approval. HVAC and mechanical equipment shall be screened. All lighting shall be dark sky compliant. The installation of dusk to dawn fixtures is prohibited. No additional lighting on the property without planning board approval. All lighting should be shielded. And let's see, freestanding security cameras which are located within the parking lot are not permitted. Submission of an affidavit indicating compliance with the site plan conditions. Obtain whatever approvals you need from the highway department and the DPW, and then arrange for a meeting with the town engineer prior to any construction. And then prior to signature, a town engineer approval, the filing of the affidavit, and submission of the final plans.
The only issue I'd like to raise is the 2 EV. I'm the person that called Anthony that had the, was it Brown Buddha, had that discussion, and I think we're in a similar position where there's no place for people to go as they're charging their cars and they have the product. They're going to loiter on site, and we don't have control of individuals who are in a car. We can't prevent it, but I think it encourages it. And
employees, the electric vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, I would be concerned. The employees we can control, but it's people buying the product and then sitting in their car waiting for it to charge and then using it. There's OCM has a loitering issue, and then you have it in your own resolution. So.
Won the day. Strike the EVs. I'm gonna have to look at that with cannabis operations.
Because they're not altering the parking lot either, and it's advantageous to have the drainage with the gravel. So, and next door you have Hampton Jitney, right, where there's parking.
A couple doors over.
Yeah,
Pretty
they're
far
not-
down.
They're not abutting it.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Do we have motion for approval?
So we're striking the EV requirements, right?
Excuse me?
We're taking
We're
out-
taking the EV requirements out, and that's a motion by Gloria, second by George. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes.
Thank you.
Hey, gonna try to jump back in order, Anthony. Is that okay? That brings Prina up.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hey. Actually, it'll be on a Friday.
It feels like a Friday.
I'm assuming
Hi.
this is Goodman. Hi.
Yes.
Good to see
Yes,
you.
Goodman. Okay. Do you want to sit in the middle?
No, you can.
I have my draft. Thanks. And I believe
And-
Mr. Goodman is
Prefer
on.
Who's David Goodman?
David Goodman is on the
Okay.
phone. On Zoom.
I have
Coming
a
on
large
now.
map here, but I have small maps included in this packet. Do you mind if I just spread
Nope.
this out?
That would be
Just
great.
give us your name again.
Lori Vulture,
Lori,
Land Planning
good to see
Services,
you.
representing David Goodman. Nice to see you too. And David is on Zoom
Great.
and would like to participate.
If we could bring in Mr. Goodman on Zoom. There he is. How are you, Mr.
Please
Goodman?
make a
We've
slight
got you on
adjustment
Zoom.
there. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is a pre-application report that was distributed at the last planning board meeting, and we're on for action deadline today to adopt. It's a 2-lot subdivision with a density incentive provision, so there's an alternative plan with a 3rd lot. It's on the Bridgehampton Sag Harbor Turnpike, which is a county road, and it neighbors Mickey B's Deli. I don't know if you guys recall them. Mickey B's is just to the south.
Yeah.
Mickey B's Deli is just to the south of the property. It's right next door. There's a pre-existing home on the lot that dates back to 1870 with a CO for a two-family residence. And the historic map shows the 1 acre, the back of the lot is this 1 acre portion. And it looks like it was previously merged with the portion of the lot in the front. And there's a mix of residential in the neighborhood with a few commercial uses as well as some accessory apartments. And they requested actually just divide this portion into 2 lots for 2 market rate lots with 1 affordable component in the front.
Maintaining multi-residence
Yeah.
for affordable housing.
Both units are going to be affordable on that? Okay.
Yeah, hopefully they can be kept, but that'll all hinge on what the county says.
So they don't have to bring in any they don't, it's
They
not
do, yeah, they
development right also?
We don't know what the county is going to require though
The
because
health
of the
department?
because of the multi-residence.
Okay. but
And we
that's
also
different.
need to find out what they recognize
Yeah.
as the density they have currently and what's gonna be required to offset.
Yeah, those are sewage rights, so they're not development rights.
They will have to be within the same school district.
Yeah.
I already spoke to David Wilcox about it.
Oh, do they?
And they're looking for the town to extinguish those rights to transfer them to the property.
Okay.
So we just really
And
need
I've been met preliminarily with the health department. They do recognize this as 2 lots that were merged
Right.
since, I can't remember the year, 1985.
So the density, I'm on page 2, the density incentive provision plan is a 3-lot subdivision. The affordable lot would be undersized at 13,000, a little over 13,000 square feet. And they're transferring the rights as we discussed. This would qualify as a minor subdivision review. The standard plan, which is a 2-lot, conforms with zoning. However, the density incentive wouldn't because of the undersized lot in the front. And there's 2 10-foot wide flag strips to the rear lots
need,
where there would
relief.
be 20. So they
ZBA.
would need, yeah. Well, with the density incentive, the board has the ability to increase the density and then set the dimensional regulations so they wouldn't have to go to the ZBA.
Oh, okay, that's right. You can go down to R15, I think, dimension.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I believe so. R10 or R15.
They're in the groundwater management zone 5, which has a minimum lot of 40,000 square feet for the county regulations. Talked about the density, the credits. The project complies with the master plan as it utilizes the density incentive. It's a type 2 action pursuant to SECRA. It is located in an archaeological sensitive area. I wrote it up, typically the board requires a phase 1A, 1B. I don't know if you want to limit it to the rear portion of the lot.
Yeah.
Since this has already been developed.
Yes,
Okay.
that would make sense.
No Long Island Workforce Housing Act, although they are opting for the density incentive. I did note that in general, the town supports affordable housing and additionally the parcel. It's located pretty close to the Bridgehampton's main street, if you will. It's less than a half mile, and there are sidewalks on the west side of the turnpike that take you all the way down.
Yeah, yep.
There was a hearing held on June 12th with no public comments.
Just a quick question, you skipped by the park requirements?
Oh, I did?
Yeah, I don't know what the fee is these days for park requirement.
It's in the code. I'll have to look it up, but we can.
2 lots, would that be 2,500 each?
Well, the three lots, but one is exempt. You have an
There's one
existing
new
house.
Well, one, yeah, because they have an existing, so the 2 market.
If there's 3 lots, 1 existing house, 1 affordable.
The existing would be the affordable.
Okay, so that's not subject to the, so it would be a $2,500 fine.
So it's 1.
1 for $2,500. Yeah.
Oh, 1, not 2.
How many houses are on this property?
They're creating 2 new market rate lots. And
Yeah, but he's saying that the affordable would have already.
You already get exempt.
Exempt, then You have one.
Then you have one.
You have
And then
one.
you're just
Charge for the
charged.
one.
Right, right, so I'll reword that to include just the one.
At 2,500.
Yeah.
500, one at 2,500.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Great. Referral responses, the con board, they noted some large mature trees on the property, and especially the linden along the north property line to locate it because it would be in the vicinity of the shared common driveway. They also note or recommend a 25-foot wide deer corridor to the east, connecting to their easements to their easements on the northern property, and then further easements on the subdivision north of that. So they're hoping to connect all that together.
So we have a comment on that, if I can interject. Okay, so the concept of the deer corridor along the back of this parcel leads to the parking lot for the Baptist church on this side. And there is a wire fence that includes the entire 25 feet of what they're trying to create a buffer of on someone else's property that we could do nothing about.
I've never heard of deer corridor. I've heard of trail
Yeah,
corridor.
they put it in there, so I just thought I'd mention it.
Okay, well, those are their comments.
And we'll talk
We're not-
about it a little more later because there's also a scenic
That's a separate
landscape
buffer.
buffer that's
Yeah.
being proposed, so maybe that's where we can get something.
Mhm.
The deer could probably jump over that fence.
Walk over that fence.
They're also noting that proposed buffer, they're recommending that it's achieved by the natural vegetation that's already there rather than removing anything and planting anything in the non-native.
Which would be a request of my client that there's a lot of knotweed and things in here. Knotweed, very invasive
Oh,
species.
yeah, you wanna get rid of
You would like to keep it as a natural or indigenous buffer.
So
of
you take
native
you take
plants,
you take
so
out
that you can
the
take out the
weeds.
invasives and plant something that is native and presentable.
Yes.
Will they present a plan here?
We could,
Yeah,
if you
I think-
want us to show a revegetation.
Yeah,
plan.
we'd like to see that.
Sure, we can make that part of
Yeah,
the
to make sure we're getting the right species in and so forth.
Yes.
The county notes that they have an application and it's currently incomplete or was incomplete at the time, and they list everything that's required, that they'll require. We made a referral to the DPW, given the county road. They will have to make an application for a work permit. The county is asking to remove the existing driveway and install an asphalt driveway, and to remove and relocate the hedges that are in the front of the property, which are in the right of way. Is it up here? No.
I got
It's
that.
181 Bridgehampton Sag Harbor. The town engineer had typical comments regarding the monuments and 3-inch drainage. He also noted the hedge located in the right of way. Any curb cuts would go to the DPW, and he's recommending extending the sidewalk. There is a small portion of sidewalk just in front of Mickey B's Deli. It doesn't go south or north.
It doesn't, I mean, for us, it doesn't make sense to do that because it's not a continuous sidewalk on this side of the street. There's a tiny little bit in front of Mickey's Deli, and then there's a tiny little bit up further north in front of a childcare center, but there's nothing the rest of the way. And across the street, there's a continuous sidewalk north and south that takes you straight into the village.
Right.
So the sidewalk work doesn't really make sense. It's
Can I comment on that?
Sure.
In many places, sidewalks have to be put in piecemeal. Now, the county did a major renovation when they put that sidewalk in on the west side.
Mhm.
And I'm very familiar with that area. I live nearby.
Mhm.
I would say that if we can get additional sidewalk put in, and they made a decision to only do it on the west side. But you've got to cross the road to get to the other side.
Understood.
I would say that putting in sidewalk may be appropriate so that you're getting closer to the church.
Mhm.
There is, you've got Williams, Arthur Williams, to the north, you've got other things. I'm
None of these are all
just
developed
going to
properties.
suggest that may be appropriate to consider.
I think it's appropriate when you've got a lot of undeveloped lots that will come before the county or the town, and then you have each of them, but every one of these
County?
properties is developed.
It's not necessarily developed. When they come in for redevelopment, like what you're doing today,
Oh, subdivide, yeah, sure.
or subdivide, whatever
They- they
word you
did, they
want to
mentioned,
use, those are when we have opportunities to put in sidewalk. Obviously, we're not making a decision right now, but
No, I know. I'm just speaking my client's wishes.
giving you my wishes.
So right to the north is the Seif property that we also represent. They are currently redeveloping the property, but it's not in front of the town for anything but building permits, so there will not be any sidewalk on that property. To continue up to the Arthur and Sons Restaurant, which used to be called Fresh, and we represented them as well. That was redeveloped by building permit, and there's no sidewalk in front of that either. And then it's a residence, which is not going to be coming before this board or the county. So I don't see. And there's 2 more residences leading south before we get to the church.
We have a lot of commercial vehicles parking there to go to the deli with them walking in the street. See it every day. So again, we don't have to decide right now. I'm just saying that I would not dismiss it sitting here today.
I just think it's a sidewalk to nowhere, unfortunately, because that sidewalk's not going to get the commercial people into the deli. It just doesn't get them there.
Okay, well, we'll discuss it further.
I appreciate that.
And it's definitely a long-term, the goal is to do it individually, just like they do on 39.
Right,
And
yeah.
eventually, everybody comes in and we have a full sidewalk.
What's needed is the county or the municipal agency should come in and undertake public improvements instead of having it done
Yeah.
piecemeal, sidewalks to nowhere, and then they don't get maintained.
They did the west side of the road.
Yeah.
And they are, in fact, actually looking at doing significant improvements to County Road 79 right now. That may include additional sidewalk over there. We'd have to double check with them. But for example, they're looking at a traffic signal just north there at the narrow lane intersection. They're planning significant improvements along, and that may be, we'll have to follow up to see where they are on it.
Sure, and if they weren't going to do a full, complete sidewalk on this side, perhaps they could consider crosswalks, traffic calming in front of the deli and the church, so that you can get across the street without the cars racing through.
They had some public hearings on it just about this time last year, and we may have to update where they are in their design phase. I don't remember all the details of what they talked about, but it may include sidewalks there, which would make this discussion not as important.
Correct.
And then Tom also noted Tom the engineer, the proposed scenic buffer that it be actually depicted on the plan, and a common driveway for all of the lots. Fire district didn't have any concerns, and the fire marshal had typical comments. The highway had said they were good. Landmarks, note the age of the house, it's 1870, and they're a fan and they're recommending the density incentive plan because it maintains the existing home.
And my client has mentioned looking into salvaging the lumber from the antique barn.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, they had a comment about possible mitigation to relocate and reuse that. Wonderful. And no trail implications. The recommendations start on the bottom of page 4. I have it in here as the planning board prefers the density incentive provision. Shared common driveway for all the lots at the existing location along the north.
Would the 2-family house that's staying, would that come under the town's purview of affordable housing?
There has been some mention of interest from Curtis Highsmith about the Housing Authority purchasing.
Okay. Because we know it stays.
Yeah, of course. Well, otherwise it would have to be done by covenant.
Yeah.
And be monitored by the town housing office.
Okay.
So one way or the other, it would remain
okay.
affordable.
As part of
That's
that,
great.
Curtis or someone goes in and appraises the home and the condition of the home. As you point out, it's 1870.
I had a meeting with Kara and Curtis, and for some reason Kara right off the bat came up with an amount. I don't know, based on the size of the lot and the fact that it's a 2-family residence, I don't know. It's just over $500,000, and
So we're ending up with two market rate lots and an affordable home that's 150 years old.
and it's multi-residence. It's two apartments.
Right. It's 150 years old.
And it's walkable to the village, sidewalk across the street, shopping, public
I
transportation.
think that's all great.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned, and that's why I asked about how they determine the value and what
Yeah, I
might be
wonder.
necessary to make that.
It's all have to renovate it anytime.
So we have other recommendations?
Yeah, let's see, I noted the landmarks. I'll change number 4 for the corridor and just,
We're looking at keeping
I'll remove that, and then with the,
submission of a, or, if you can do some work on that
for
buffer
this, for the
A
buffer.
native re-veg
Yeah.
plan be submitted for the
And the question
25 feet on the
becomes-
church side.
on the church side, yeah. We're not gonna do the deal court.
The width of that, because that's not noted on the plan, so do you wanna do
Yeah, what-
25, or do you wanna do more?
What, if we have 25-foot buffer, is that what you're looking at there?
The dimension's not proposed, that's what
You
Tom
don't want
was,
to limit the size of the building envelope too much either.
Correct.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't affect the setbacks.
Setback would be 25.
No, yeah.
Well, the setback would be from the property line, so that's not gonna affect the
No,
setback.
it won't affect ownership or the setback. In fact, you just have a native vegetative
Yeah.
buffer in the setback.
Which is a
So,
benefit.
give us a-
to-
right.
To the
So
to
25
homeowners.
feet, is that good?
25
I believe that's acceptable. David, you have to make a decision on that.
Your buffer on this?
I would lean in the direction of keeping the buffer consistent if with the setback.
That's what it would be.
It would seem to me if we do that with native species, that would be perfectly reasonable for anybody. And I certainly would support it, because a lot of what's there right now wouldn't meet that qualification. And it would be a distinct improvement to the boundary.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what we
So
talked about
we'll
anyway.
delineate,
Yeah.
just mark it, delineate,
Yeah,
leave it to you, the applicant, to tell us.
mark it with a split rail fence on the
Yeah.
final map. The number 6, the con board asked for the location of the linden that might be interrupted or near the common driveway.
My client wants to
I'm-
keep that as well.
Okay, I'm also requesting that they include all of the wooded area. Do you want to impose locating or showing on the survey all existing trees of a certain diameter breast height?
Well, the problem with that is that if you put that on as part of the approval, something happens, then there's an inconsistency.
It's just to show it on the final map, but it's up
Yeah,
to the
but
board.
I don't know that, I would say a general area, but if you start delineating specific trees, the hurricane comes, and now your client is in violation. Where's the tree?
Well, no, we're gonna design the common driveway around the linden tree.
Okay,
But if it falls over in a hurricane, there's nothing we can do about
yeah,
that.
okay.
So we'll just request the location of that tree
Yeah,
on the
just
final map.
locate it if you could.
Let's see. IA systems are requisite. I requested to show the existing sanitary system, although it might have to get replaced anyway. Phase 1 at 1B for the rear portion. Compliance with town engineer. We discussed the sidewalk already, so I'll remove number 12 for now. Compliance with the fire prevention. I also asked the exact distance to the existing hydrant. Show the area calculations for the flag lot sizes with and without the strips. The final map, call out the existing dwelling as it's described in the CO as a two-family home rather than call that as an existing.
Yeah, 1.5 story residence, sure.
Final application will have to include the Department of Health approval, and then they'll need to make an application with the DPW.
All agreed to.
Okay. So our action then is to adopt the pre-application report for David Goodman. Motion? Motion by Gloria, second by Kate. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent. Lori, thank you. Good
Thank
seeing
you
you
very
again.
much.
Thank you, Mr. Goodman.
Thank you.
That's yours.
Yes, thank you.
Anthony, are you doing Somerset 1 and 2?
I'll just show the board, this will be very, very quick.
Oh, good.
You say that every time.
I know, that's true. But this is in the village of Sagamonack, so.
Oh, okay.
So these are 2 lots on Town Line Road, and actually the corner of Hedges and Town Line. They're in the village of Sagaponack. When the subdivision was done.
Thanks.
By the way, Wayne Bruins represented them. He couldn't be here today. When the subdivision was done, the properties were in the town. There was a common driveway requirement for these 2 lots onto Town Line Road. Property is now within the incorporated village. Wayne Bruin has requested a covenant amendment to eliminate the common driveway so that this lot then would have access on Town Line. This lot would have access on Hedges. June 18th, the village of Sagaponack took an action on this as successor to the planning board or to the town of Southampton already approved this covenant amendment. That being said, I spoke to Wayne Bruin and he convinced me, because he's Wayne Bruin, that he needed to do this with the planning board as well, just to be on the safe side. So actually, I did put a little resolution together. I could just read it if you want. Sure. Actually. It just says, be it resolved, the planning board authorizes the recording of an amended covenant on lots 1 and 2 of the subdivision map of Somerset, Situate 357 Town Line Road and 705 Hedges Lane, subject to approval of the amended covenant by the town attorney's office, and recording of said amended covenant with the Suffolk County Clerk's office, consistent with the Village of Sagaponic's approval on June 18th, 2025.
Very good. Do we have motion?
Motion.
Motion by Gloria, second by George. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes.
Lean back so you can see it.
Quick and easy. You were right. They were. How about Wilderness Trail, Anthony?
That's that landlocked parcel that we've been dealing
Yes.
with. We're still working out how we're going to get access. I know Carl's been working on it, so we're just going to do an extension of the secret action deadline until August 28th.
August 28th. Do we have a motion? Motion by Kate, second by Gloria, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes. And Anthony's, I think, you're.
What's this education?
Should I do that? I mean, are you, why don't you take that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Which one was
That
that?
would be
It isn't.
We're gonna leave 15 for now.
9/11 Flanders is the
9/11
only other,
is the only
is that the
other-
only other?
That's the only other
Application for you.
Yeah, I have Teresa Mason's, but we could do 9/11 Flanders.
You want to do 9/11? Okay. 9/11 Flanders Road. Item 25 on the agenda. How are you? Either, yes, the desk is fine. Just identify yourself for the record.
Sure. So I'll just explain to the board here. So we know we've been dealing with this property for a long time now. Okay, so
That is the
that's sort of an
understatement
understatement
of
of the century, right? The last time we were looking at this, we were working there before the zoning board of appeals, for some variances and for determination about accessory convenience store. There were a number of variances that required. There was a lot of back and forth with this board. At our last junction, we had put together a conditional negative declaration. We didn't adopt it. That sort of put together our idea of what a plan for this site would look like. That's okay. And so the applicant, we hadn't heard back. The applicant had been working to get a new plan together, and that's what they're here to present to the board today with the idea, here's what we've done, basically everything that we asked for, so that we can then move towards a secret determination, meaning that they change the plan completely to work towards a negative declaration and move forward with this project. So I wanted them to present the changes to this board so you can see.
We have an easel here if you want to, if you have some show and tell.
Can we just have a list of your team who's here, the names?
Good afternoon, honorable members of the board. I'm Keith Brown on behalf of the applicant. Thank you for the opportunity to present the revised site plan to the board this afternoon in connection with the secret review. With me here today in support of the application is Mr. Nick Buscemi of High Point Engineering, the project engineer. In the first row on your left is Jefferson Murphy, the project planning expert. To his left, immediate left, is Nick Tortorello, the project traffic safety engineer and expert. And to my right is Mr. Andrew Sleepboy, representing the owners, who I'd just like to say that they've owned the property since 1965, some 60 years.
Wow.
For the record, we last appeared before this board roughly a year ago on July 11th of 2024 as part of the secret review of the project. When the application was previously before the board, the project sought to redevelop the gasoline service station, which had been on the site for many decades, about 40 years, and develop a new 7-Eleven convenience store at the property located at 9-11 Flanders Road in Riverside. Since we last met, the site plan has been revised to address several comments raised by the board and by the town planning department. And the new revised plan, I would say, would be a vast improvement over the existing closed gas station condition that's there now. Most notably, the abutting lot to the east, located at 39 Flanders Road, will now be included in this application. As will be discussed more by the project experts, the revised plan now provides for a gasoline service station use entirely on the highway business district side, which is right there on the west side, the larger parcel at 911 Flanders Road, where gasoline service stations, as you know, are specially permitted as special exceptions from the town ZBA. And now we've included the parcel to the right, which is zoned village business at 39 Flanders Road, which importantly is as of right, subject to site plan approval only like any other use. It should be noted that adding 39 Flanders Road increases the total project area from approximately 39,000 square feet to 56,000 square feet. In addition to improving the overall plan and site circulation, many of the necessary variances that were with just the single parcel proposal go away. The prior version of the site plan has been the variants have been almost completely eliminated, except for a few minor variances which are primarily the result of the irregular lot configuration. For example, the site now has been designed to eliminate variance requests for the overall lot area, the need for front yard setback relief for the fueling canopy, side and rear yard setback relief for the convenience store. Under the new plan, variance relief requested for 911 Flanders Road are for only the parking stalls and the existing conditions related to lot frontage along Riverlake Avenue and the distance to the Peconic River and the Goodwill Zion Church. By the way, those variances existed before with the prior gas station use. 39 Flanders Road has been designed to comply with all bulk requirements. That's the eastern lot. While a parking variance is still requested to allow for 29 stalls where 36 stalls are required under the code, the number of parking stalls and parking demand was previously reviewed by the town's outside consultant, AKRF, and AKRF was satisfied that there would be adequate on-site parking. Importantly, it should be stressed that having the convenience store on a separate village business zone lot eliminates the prior use variance request that was associated with this prior version of the plan. That's huge, obviously.
Yeah.
Finally, the application has undergone extensive SEQRA review, particularly as it relates to the issue of traffic, which we know was of particular concern of the board. However, the town's traffic consultant, AKRF, reviewed the applicant's traffic impact statement and traffic studies, and by letter dated July 19th of last year, AKRF found that the applicant had addressed all traffic-related comments. But before the project experts discuss the revised plan, I would like to thank the board and the planning staff for their help and cooperation, and that the applicant has expended significant time and resources on this project and went above and beyond to listen to your input and the community's input to arrive at the current plan, including most recently revising and resubmitting a new building elevations which provide for enhanced architectural style, as a convenience store and fueling canopy will both have a matching charcoal color shingled roof, and a convenience store will include columns and have cultured stone base to closely mimic the design that was recently built in a village of West Hampton Beach at that store, as well as incorporating a Welcome to Riverside sign in the front lawn section of the property along the traffic circle. And we just heard that there was an application for signage that I think Peggy had here
Yes.
before you. And that also is incorporating some of the aspects of that West Hampton Beach design, which,
So you'll be using the same type of pedestal sign?
yes.
Not a,
Okay.
It's a freestanding sign here, I think they need to change it
to this, I pull it out, so this is
Yeah.
kind of what we look
So
at.
it's a freestanding, yeah, it needs to be adjusted a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
So with that, I'd like to call our project engineer, Nick Buscemi, of High Point Engineering, who will go through the revised site plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick question, are the two lots now owned and intended to be merged?
So it presents a little bit of an issue because they're separately owned. So there will be an overall agreement that will govern both of the ownership.
Okay.
But in terms of the merger, we can't do that. Because once we do the
Separately.
merger, then we lose the zoning classification.
Right.
I understand.
So the plan is to keep them separate under one operating agreement for both owners. And that was important also for 7-Eleven as well.
So, but would you then need ZBA approvals for like the convenience store being on the property line pretty much? How does that work?
No, actually, that portion of the application, Nick pulled up the elevations, but the color, when you see the lot in the east, actually, and Nick's gonna go through it right now, so. Nick, to answer your question, I don't believe there are any bulk requirements that relate to the eastern lot, correct?
No, VB, the zero, you can go, it's 0 to 15 foot. So you can actually build to
Okay,
without
so-
variance,
so
without
the-
relief.
That was the question.
And one issue that came up with the planning staff was the desire to pull the building off of Flanders
Flanders
Road.
Road, yeah.
So the existing building that's there now is very close to the sidewalk. So there was talk originally about whether or not we could use that building. It wasn't workable. So we slid the building back. But I should also state that, and Nick, sorry if I'm stealing some of your thunder, but we're trying, we are maintaining all of the existing trees that are there now, and that was important for staff as well, for a variety of reasons. So they were all the trees that were contained on the survey, Nick spent a lot of time to depict them on that site plan, so the board could see them.
It's probably going to be some sort of effort with the building, Claire, to sort of have some sort of pedestrian access, do you think, as opposed to having pedestrians, because there's quite a lot of pedestrian activity in the area, rather than have people walk through the parking lot to access the store, maybe some sort of access just for pedestrians out to Flanders.
So there is, so maybe I'll go through my quick little spiel, and then maybe it will answer some of your questions, and then I'll answer all other questions.
He will definitely address that.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So Keith did a really good job. So just quickly, the site's going to be improved with a 3,010 square foot 7-Eleven convenience stores, as Keith mentioned, with 29 stalls, 6 multi-product dispensers beneath a 4,950 square foot canopy. The site will be accessible by motorists via 35-foot wide full access curb cut on Flanders Road that's located plus or minus 242.4 feet away from the intersection, and a 35-foot wide right in, right out curb cut on Riverly Avenue that's located 130.5 feet away from the intersections. Pedestrians will be able to access the site from both Riverly Avenue and Flanders Road via an ADA compliant sidewalk. In addition to the major improvements of the building canopy, dispensers, and parking areas, other improvements will include curbing, lighting, utilities, landscaping, drainage, and sanitary. The site is designed to provide ample space for circulations with drive aisles at a minimum of 32 feet wide, and the location of the underground storage tanks will allow for the fuel delivery truck to enter the site and stage in an area that will not impact site circulation. As part of the design, landscaping was heavily considered, as we are within the Pine Barrens compatible growth area. As Keith mentioned, it is the intention to keep all existing trees on site. Additionally, we will be doubling the amount of landscaping on site from an existing 15% of the site, about 8,420 square feet, to now having 17,203 square feet, which is approximately 31% of the site area. Of that 17,203 square feet of landscaping, 34% of that, or 5,879 square feet, will be located on that corner of Riverly and Flanders. Plantings will vary across the site, including 28 arborvitaes, 6 new birch trees, 12 assorted shrubs, and 4 different species of over 50 perennials. So I just kind of want to go back to your question regarding
I see
access. We have
the access from both streets.
both
there.
streets.
Yeah.
And that's at a requirement of DOT as well.
Yeah.
So it's there.
Quite an enhancement.
Yes.
You don't have the original site plan, do you? Just
That was only on the original, was just the.
Just on the one lot.
On the one
Right, yeah.
parcel.
That was very concerning.
Okay, let me just, and I just have a couple of questions. Okay.
The key was, we're gonna have some activity right in and around the area.
Right.
We've got it over here, but we've shifted this access as far away from the traffic circle as possible. And that was really the gist of this. I mean, we know we're in a situation here, we could do what we could do, but we really needed to get this access as far away, and because we wanted as much as this activity away from the intersection.
Yeah.
The curb cut is about 50 feet further away from the intersection, plus or minus. Yeah.
One of our concerns early on was the proximity of the curb cut to, okay,
The
good.
intersection, understood.
Okay.
Are you going to limit left turns on to?
It's going to be up to DOT jurisdiction, but
Okay.
most likely we're going to lose left turns there,
Right,
which we our understanding, and because you still do have
You
the.
can come out this way. You can come out this way and go back around.
Yeah.
It's almost the, directly across the street from the McDonald's. The McDonald's just,
Right.
just further to the east.
Okay.
And is the size of the 7-Eleven gotten bigger, or is there anything that would increase the traffic calculations, the
No,
on-site parking?
I'll let the traffic engineer speak to all of that stuff, but it's de minimis in terms of, we're talking maybe 50, 100 square feet. So nothing that would bump us into a new threshold.
One thing I could say is that I'm sure you might remember we had a home plate design for the actual store.
Right.
So now this is a more traditional store. So
Right.
That's a vast improvement too.
Anthony, do you have the other site plan?
Doesn't really come into play. This is so new, this is so different.
Well, I mean, Tom just wanted to compare the size, right? So it's useful.
Comparison.
I'll say
It's
that
roughly
one,
the same size. It's about
one in
3,000
West
square
Hampton
feet.
Beach, which is similar in this way, you have the canopy and the building is very functional, and I've been in there myself many times. It's quite good for West Hampton.
Trying to get it.
Christine, are there many examples of properties that are owned separately but operate as one? And is there any like indemnification issue?
I'm assuming that you're a principal in both?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really
okay.
more for taxing.
Thank you.
I think we're going to examine it as one site plan. I think that's
So is
our
it-
handling on the
site plan
secret
then?
also. It's one site.
Is it single?
We have to.
Yeah, that was the original.
For the next lot.
Anthony, where are we in the secret story on this?
We're going to move towards the secret determination. That's
Okay.
I'm going to get the revised stuff submitted to me, revise my plan, the secret forms that we have to go through. They were trying to move towards a negative declaration. When we initially were doing a pos deck and we were working towards a conditional neg deck, the conditional neg deck sort of prepared a map like that. Since they've come in with that map, that's what we'll use as our basis. My plan is to do it in the next meeting. I just got to make sure I just got to make sure that I didn't mess up.
We'll have an EF.
We have one already, so it'll just be revised. Yeah.
Candidly, the discussion was at the next meeting.
Okay.
For the adoption of a neg deck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've been putting it off, and we've just been waiting for the revised plans.
That sounds great.
We do covenants
So that's the plan up there. You
Yeah,
can
that was
see
the
it.
original old.
Thank you.
Nick wants to just roll through it. You can see the major changes, right? The
Yeah,
home plate
yeah.
design in the bottom of the site where Anthony's cursor is, and then followed by the canopy was pushed closer towards the circle. So this allows all of the use of the site to move away from the
Yeah.
traffic circle, as much as possible. So
Yeah.
you want to add to that, Nick? Sorry.
No, I think he nailed it on the head. The issue with the home plate buildings too is they always appear bigger than they are because you have so many sides, and it's just every time you look at it, there's this large.
That's a great point.
But even with the location of the tanks to the canopy, you could see if the truck was staged there, you would be blocking. I think what a big point here is you're not blocking any circulation, albeit these guys are only on site for 10, 15 minutes. Anytime you can avoid any traffic issues on site, it's always preferable. So I think the site that we have here in front of you is definitely an improvement to what
Yes.
was being shown
Yes.
prior.
And if I may, just from a planning, I know this is not under the secret review, but from a planning perspective, you have two other gas stations on that site which are subpar compared to this.
Yes,
I mean, one doesn't even have a bathroom. The other had a porta potty, that was operating because the bathrooms were inoperable. Just to remind everyone on the board, this new location will have a fully ADA compliant store. That includes, so you will have someone in a wheelchair won't be bumping into shelving.
Right.
And we'll be able to get to, ADA compliant bathrooms. It'll be two bathrooms, one male, one female.
That's great. I mean, we're really excited to get this properly developed, and it's certainly, I commend your team.
Landscaping
Put that
is going to be a
Thank
big
you. It's been-
addition.
And your
It's been a long-
patience.
it's been a long journey.
And your patience.
It was hard for us too, because
Yeah.
this is so much
No,
better.
It is.
We're
It really
definitely on
is.
our way going in, and I think we're hearing from staff that we're going to get this done for you at the next meeting, Anthony, if we could. We'll try to get this going for you.
Terrific.
So. Okay, anything else?
Excellent.
for-
Thank you very
Great,
much. We
thank you so
appreciate
much
your
for coming.
time.
Sorry about the wait.
Listen, you have a job to do.
As long as the
Has to
results
be
are there.
cooked longer than we
Yeah,
thought.
Did you want that? That's,
Thank you.
did you
You
want,
too.
that's for the one at Hampton Bays.
Sure.
So Anthony, are we jumping back into
Go
order?
to the regular meeting.
Okay. I'm gonna hold off on the town board.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Brand new.
You finally
Do
got
not
one,
touch
Jeff,
it.
after 18 years. I think Seth. Did Seth, we'll hold off on the town, on the referral. Seth, did you want to jump in, or? Because you're next on the, I think you're next on the,
I'm here, I'm waiting.
George?
all right.
I'm on number 16.
16, Baywater.
Yeah, this is actually just getting,
Oh,
we
sorry.
didn't register a vote.
I can get.
So
Let's go.
Make it dramatic.
After you send it back over here,
Sure thing.
Okay, just say.
Banana Head at 5:15 is where it'll.
Baywater, seawater, well water.
Yep, we just need to reschedule that hearing for August 28th.
August
Okay.
28th.
What do we?
That's item
16.
16 at Baywater.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by George, second by Tom, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, 5 yes, 2 absent. Thanks, Seth.
Okay.
What about Patricia Thompson?
Yep, so we'll move on to number 17. That's Rob Shea here to join us.
Oh,
So, yes, we have a minor subdivision named Patricia Thompson. This is the pre-application. This subdivision is located at 37 North Bishop. So if you went to PC Richards and continued south, that
okay,
would be North Bishop.
yeah.
And this would be on the west side. So, this is, like I said, R20, 60,581 square feet, or 1.4 acres, in Tuckahoe. The proposed subdivision is a 2-lot subdivision, almost equal, 30,262 for a vacant area in the back, and, which would be a flag. And then the developed portion up front would be 30,320. Up front, you have a C of O for the home from 1988 for a single family dwelling and 2 sheds. This dwelling is also landmarked, so that would be something to consider down the road. At any rate, it is located in the groundwater management zone number 5, which requires a 40,000 square foot minimum. So we will have to cross that bridge for Pine Barren credits at some point.
It's to bring in sewage credit, right?
Yes, I spoke to them preliminarily.
Okay.
Anyway, I can tell you all about it. We're at completeness. I forget that sometimes. It is complete.
Yes.
I have the necessary information.
Okay.
And you have a public hearing
Yes.
scheduled for 8/26.
Yes.
828.
828.
28, that is. Oh, did I give the wrong? Yeah.
No,
Thank you.
I
Oh, I
Either
corrected
that
it.
or
I believe that was a motion by Glorian to set that. We have a second by Tom, all in favor, aye, opposed,
Aye.
abstentions, 5 yes.
And Dennis, just as a reminder, we were going to keep Rob Fischetti there to do his quick walk-on.
Oh, okay, which, it's a walk,
90 Scuttle Hole Road.
which,
The walk on.
Rob
take a
Fischetti
vote?
right here.
And
what's the name of the application?
890 Scuttle Hole.
890 Scuttle Hole, great.
You'll remember right away.
He voted for you first.
We did a pre-application. You can see here, we got a bunch of
So we're good with this one, right?
preserved land up here.
Oh, yeah.
It was all preserved, development rights, but nothing was ever memorialized through a subdivision. As you know, the town sort of bought development rights and then lots were sort of created. So we were looking at a subdivision of this to mimic, how the tax maps. We did a pre-app report on this. Rob's still working through, as you can imagine, when these things happen, now you got to try to work through health department and every other agency. So all that we're going to do is we just want to do a extension and a waiver of the pre-application policy on this, which would then extend the pre-application report for 890 Scuttle Hole Road until August 26,
When was the
2026.
hearing? What date was the hearing? The original hearing?
Well, we're going to have it goes back 3 years, so we'll have a hearing at final.
Oh, hearing at final.
Yeah, we'll have a hearing at final, but this is just to renew the pre-app on it, so.
Did you say 8/26 or is it 8/28?
No, it'll be August 26, 2026.
Oh,
That's-
it's not, it's just an extension.
Just an extension.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Kate, second by Gloria, and all in favor, aye. Opposed, abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent. That's 890 Scuttle Hole. Walk on. Robin, thanks for your patience.
Thanks.
This.
Shall we say in order? Teresa, is Teresa here?
I'm Teresa today.
Oh, Teresa, okay.
You don't look anything like.
I'm sorry.
481 Brick Hill. If you want to stay up front, we'll do 481 Brick Hill.
481 Brickell. Rob, is that you?
Yeah. Re-veg plan.
Oh, okay. Seth, where are you taking us? 481?
The site disturbance.
The site disturbance?
21.
Okay, 26.
Last one, number 26.
Oh, okay, great. Hi, how are you? Just state your name for the record.
Rimas Alexi.
Excuse me?
Rimas Alexi, owner of 481 Baker Road.
Okay.
Some resolutions. Okay, so 481 Brick Hill Road is a described property in the CR 200 area of Bridgehampton. It's 40,096 square feet or 0.9 acres. The allowable clearing on that property is 50%. It had cleared to 87.2 while undertaking a brand-new home. You might have visually seen this one as a gigantic pile of sand in the very front yard that had it's a very hilly area of Brick Kiln.
Oh.
Yeah, so some of us had seen that.
Yeah.
At any rate, they've come in and we have gone back and forth with a revegetation plan they needed to revegetate 14,903 square feet. They have come in with a revegetation plan that exceeds that amount, closer to 15,000. And I have reviewed it at length with Mr. Ramos and the homeowner, and Mahoney designed it. And at first, it was quite a landscape plan, but we have since tweaked it to mimic better the natural vegetation. I can show you. It's quite a lovely plan, I thought. So the trees would be primarily swamp white oak, which is now more available as a swap out for the white oak. We also have some red cedar included.
Microphone.
Microphone.
Yeah. Oh, am I hitting the microphone? I'm sorry. So I don't know if it's better.
Thank you.
Some of the shrubs that are incorporated are the New York fern, the cinnamon fern, and the hay-scented fern, as well as bayberry, holly, laurel, arrowwood. So it's a nice mixture. And they did maintain the grades, which was one of the things, as much as they could. And I was able to make sure that there's nothing man-made behind the natural vegetation. So it is a tight lot. So it was hard to find all the area, and luckily the trees up front, which seemed buried, I was worried if they would survive. They seem to be okay. Until we got it in time.
It happens that sometimes it does, they don't die.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye out.
Good energy.
Well,
Hopefully.
I had some issues at my house and the trees did not die. So, with sand being moved around.
Yes.
So our action then is to approve the revegetation.
Revegetation.
481. Very good. Do we have a motion? Motion by Gloria, and second by Kate. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent. Thanks for coming in. Sorry about the wait.
Good outcome.
Yes.
You learn a lot.
Yeah.
Seth? Yeah, I did.
Thanks for coming in.
I believe that's it for me, but
Okay.
I'll stick around just in case. I gotta check my.
Verizon?
We're gonna jump.
Oh, that's just sign plans.
There, you still got some stuff going. Where, did you want to do 25 Sandy Hollow? Oh, Brina.
Yeah, is that okay if we go to
Yeah.
21 and 22?
Sure.
Just because it's different.
Just because.
Denise Maynard.
Yes.
I think he's getting, he's representing.
Denise Maynard. And,
Thanks.
did we read?
No, there's a covenant amendment right after it.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a copy or need a copy?
I have a copy, yes.
I'm just gonna hold up
Everything
this
looks
now.
fine.
Good to see you, Tamara. How are you?
How are you?
For one.
George, Tom?
Well, gang's here.
Hello.
Gang's all here.
Sorry.
The gang's not all here.
Like a reunion.
So we're doing 21?
This is 21. It's Denise Maynard, 240 Halsey. This is a 2.5 acre lot. It's a pre-app report for a 2-lot subdivision in the R60 zoning. It's also an ag overlay and archaeological sensitive. There's a CO from 1991 that shows a single-family residence and then a 2-story structure that's described as an apartment above a 2-car garage and several accessory structures. The single-family home is the one that fronts that leg of the property that fronts Halsey Lane. And the apartment has access to this private road to the north called Morgan Hill.
Yeah.
So there's a history. There's a history of 2 subdivisions and a lot line modification. There was a subdivision done in 1980, and then there was one in 1991, which further subdivided what was called Lot 1, or this portion of the lot, and the property to the east of that. Part of the subdivision, that subdivision included covenants and restrictions that call for no further subdivision without a majority plus 1 vote of the planning board. So it's a 2-lot, their standard plan is a 2-lot subdivision. The portion of land to the east would be 80,000 square feet, or 81 and change. And the lot 2 would be 25,000 square feet, and that would be an undersized lot. The board waived the cluster plan. I have a question of this being a minor review, given the quantity of the relief required. There's something in the code, in the subdivision area chapter of the code, that calls out for they can't conflict with the provision of the master plan or zoning unless it's considered a minor area relief. So the question becomes, is this considered minor?
Yeah, but the nature of the relief is more setback.
I would say this is gonna be a minor subdivision.
Yeah.
That won't
There's
be
lot
much.
area, I think building, I
It's
think
lot area
setbacks
and some setbacks.
and lot
Setback,
width.
yeah.
But
and
if
then-
you look at the lot area, it's totally in line with the, nods to
Right.
the south and north, so that's why I don't think it's a big.
Consistent. No, yeah.
I think that was a previously merged lot. On the historic map, it shows like it.
Could have
This
been.
lot was merged previously,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's one of those that's been in the family for 2 centuries, so it's hard to.
So
Yeah, it's
both
pretty old.
proposed lots are developed, right? Are they both?
Yeah.
They're both of them.
One is developed.
One has a primary home on it, the second has a residential apartment above a garage.
Right.
So, yes, they are developed.
Okay.
It's been expanded. It reads as a single family residence when you're there.
And it's to stay in the family, it's to
Right.
give it to relatives.
And the planned residential development, is that because it was originally farmland or something? Was there some, or there's no requirement about that? Okay. PRDs, I thought they were limited.
Oh, you mean like a cluster?
Never mind. We'll pursue that.
So they will require relief from the ZBA for both lots. I have a note in here.
The larger lot just setback relief for existing structures.
Right.
Is that just for the proposed lot line?
Yeah, the house is
The
good.
the
just
larger lot
structures,
only
right?
needs some setback relief for the structures. The lot area is for the smaller.
Yeah,
I'm
lot
gonna-
area and lot width.
Are you going to apply the CVO for the garage as the primary structure there, or keep it as an accessory?
That would probably become a primary.
That'll become a primary. Okay.
And so there may be a,
So we would ask
Main
for
house.
primary structure relief for that, because it's gonna be a new lot, so.
Right, but
It's not
eventually,
gonna be it's gonna be in different ownership, so you can't benefit from the.
I'm just thinking you might want to eventually build a larger house on that new lot and then turn that into an accessory, the
I
garage.
think you could do that down the road. but
Yeah.
There's no immediate plans for that.
Okay,
Like I said, the occupancy, the people who occupy this before and after are gonna be the same.
Same, okay.
And the two developed lots adjacent to it are roughly that same 25,000 or 30,000 square feet?
Yes, and obviously the one to the south is less.
Right.
Smaller.
25,000 square foot. You want a copy of the map?
There's a small one in
It's a type 1 action.
It is, because it's in the ag overlay.
Yes, it's type 1.
I noted that the code states that with respect to creating undersized lots that the ZBA, I suppose they can require credits. They haven't.
So they
don't
make you
always.
show that you've made an effort to get credits. And Anthony deals with them quite often on those, when you ask for lot area relief. And that's how they govern whether or not they're going to input development credits in exchange for the lot area variance. It's, the standard is, did you make a good faith effort? Are they available? And then they consider that. But they are, essentially they reset the zoning for the lot.
Right.
So
Right.
whether or not this should have a development right brought onto it, is really their purview.
Would the planning board support? I mean, you could always just use the support as your notes to the ZBA once it gets to that point, or if the board would support transfer of credits from within the same school
We would
district.
leave it to the ZBA, I think, I think if they transfer the credit, it would be, they wouldn't need area relief, it would be density incentive.
You could do it that way.
Yeah. Because it's
You'd
large
still
enough.
need setback relief.
Yeah, you need setback relief, but you wouldn't need area variance.
No, if they got incurred.
Right.
In my experience, this board has sort of left that to the ZBA.
We do, yeah, that's correct.
20,000 square feet required for the county. The master plan, there's nothing in the comp plan, rather it's specific to the subject property. With respect to the overlay district, the property doesn't present any significant opportunity for ag use. And I also note that the property contains class 1 soils. We already talked about SECRA, archaeological. I don't know if the board would want to see a phase 1A, 1B. Most of the lot is developed.
I don't think it's necessary in this. I think it's both. They're both developed.
No Long Island workforce housing. There would be one created lot, so a park fee, new parkland. There was a hearing held on June 26th with no public comment. The referral responses from the Ag Advisory Committee, they note the undersized lot. They had a question about open space, and they also note that the property is adjacent to preserved land. Con board noted the houses and contains active purple martin, so they're encouraging maintaining that.
Yeah, the purple, that's fine, there's an active rack house servicing them along the westerly rail fence, and it knows that they aren't actually an endangered species or it's a secure migratory species. I don't know what this western tract should be maintained as a mowed field. You know what they're talking about?
I think it's that whole portion. They're recommending a 40-foot wide north-south treeless corridor, I guess, running alongside
boundary
the
line?
west property line. I don't know if the board agrees with that, but I didn't put
Because
it
we
in.
put a bird rack there?
I guess.
I mean, it's not a naturally occurring nesting spot.
Well, their comments are their comments, but
As I'm
it's
saying, I would
typically
push
not-
back on
nothing.
including that. I don't think there's a real.
Yeah, these aren't
nexus.
conditions that
definitely
we
had
would
that in our
typically
recommendations
impose.
In this case, you have the expanse of farmland that, presumably those birds would use.
I think the birds
As an
will be
open
fine there.
area.
They're
Right,
only there because there's a
like-
birdhouse there.
There's a
Yeah.
birdhouse there, so
Right,
I feel like they're being penalized for having a bird.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment.
No comments from the health department, standard comments from the
It does mention this, well, in the 5 for discussion. the 40
Oh,
foot
okay,
wide.
so maybe I'll
So
remove that.
could we remove that 40-foot wide?
It was a discussion point, so I'll just make sure
Okay.
it's out. Town engineer, we just want to make sure all this electrical or utility services are depicted on separate lots. Nothing from the fire department. Typical comments from the fire marshal, including the recommendation of installing a fire hydrant. Town highway was good, and landmarks notes the age of the house and that it's part of the, it's listed as a town historic resource, but there are no concerns since they're not proposing demolition of any of the existing structures. You gonna say something?
No, that's it.
The recommendations start on page 5. If the planning board is willing, a covenant amendment will be required prior to final in order for the subdivision to move forward. I could remove item number 2 based on our previous discussion regarding the transfer of credit since it's within the purview of the ZBA, and I just note that the relief will be required.
For one, I would just say, if I could, it says all earlier and other covenants shall be complied with and remain, that's fine. I would just note, to the extent not modified by this approval.
Other than to the extent modified?
To the extent not modified, unless modified by this approval.
Yeah, the ZBA would have to modify.
No, I'm saying, if you could modify the existing covenants as part of your approval.
Oh, okay.
And that would make complying with the old covenants subject to that modification. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Number 5, that 40-foot corridor from the con board, I'll remove, we already discussed it. Archaeological, not required. Compliance with the town engineer. Final map showing the location of the utilities and sanitary system. All the proposed electrical will be located underground. Compliance with fire prevention. With both fire hydrants, both on Halsey and Morgan Hill. Clarify the discrepancy, or it's really not a discrepancy, but the description on the map for the accessory or the apartment versus the way it's described, which is a 2-story residence.
Sure.
Along EAF, part 1 will be required for the final application so the board can conduct SECRA, IA systems, and county approvals required to be able to proceed to the final act.
Any other issues, Paul?
Good with all of it.
Very good. So there's a motion to adopt the pre-app report. Motion by Tom, second by George. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5 yes, 2 absent. Thank you, Franny. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Do you mind if I take that map back?
Yes, sure. Do you have any,
I have the application app right after this.
oh, okay.
I don't know where I left it.
You got Noel Crest?
Yeah.
Noel Crest?
I know, I never updated it on the top.
Item 22.
Yeah, it's not sensitive.
Oh, that's yours, okay.
Can I give you that again? I'm sorry. I don't know what I did with my. This is a covenant amendment request for 11 Collinswood. This is it's in the Noel Crestwood subdivision that was created in 1986. The lot's in APOD. The covenants restrict clearing to 35%, where the APOD allows or would allow 60%. The lot measures 18,000 square feet, and it's currently and has been for a long time 100% disturbed. So they've also submitted a site disturbance application, which is very preliminary and based on what the covenant does. If the board is inclined, I've drafted some conditions. I also want to note that the owners, this is before you because the owner has an accessory dwelling unit application with the building department. So they need to bring the property into conformity.
Do you have the re-veg plan also?
No, we don't have that yet. I mean, it's sort of, I guess, a little cart before the horse, so maybe you want to do the re-veg plan first, or if you're inclined to do the covenant amendment, then we'll work alongside and do the site disturbance, but so far they've only submitted the application with the fee. We have to work with them to get the re-veg plan going.
So I'm sorting my thoughts on covenant amendments here, where there's a subdivision that contains many lots and, you know, a few are wanting to come out of the conformance of the covenants. I think that it would be a good idea to have a public hearing so that the neighbors can voice their thoughts. And we did that in one other application.
Yeah, and you referenced the ones that we discussed in Hampton Bays. They were not in the APOD, just to clarify that.
Right.
But still.
But I think for me, the threshold is someone purchased a property knowing about the covenant amendments, other people and didn't like it, other people purchased in, and maybe they really, that was a value for them. And so we really need to evaluate that fairly, I think.
I think there have been 11, I don't know if they've been fully executed, but the board has seen, I think, 11 requests so far for covenant amendments.
Yeah, that would be like a policy change if you want to do that. I mean, you could. If you.
I would support that in the case of multi-lot subdivisions, where the one that we just saw with Carl, there, you know, it's a smaller shift, right?
Right,
Where
so
you have
these are covenants that are permitted to be amended pursuant to the Aquifer Protection Overlay District because these covenants were put in prior to it being implemented. So the plan was piecemealing, saying, oh, it's going to be 25% here and 35% here, where you know, APUD came up to be 50% or whatever the situation was. So the code allows you to unilaterally do that without the public hearing. If the covenant says that, of course. But if you wanted to, in the future, now to do it, it would be a big policy change, you know, to do it. And if the board is in agreement, we could, but it would just be something where you'd say from now on, I'm amending a covenant in the subdivision. I want a public hearing every time, right?
We need more discussion with the full
I think
board
so.
on that.
I think you would.
You
It
could
would be
also
a
ask
big
for
one.
notification instead of a public hearing.
Just
You could ask for
notification.
a notification requirement and give us
Like just a
30
written
days.
comment period or something.
You could. You
Yeah,
could
I
be
think
say,
that's
I'm going
important.
to do this, and just be like, if you have any comments,
Because
you could
everything
notify
we're-
the whole subdivision.
Yeah.
Looking at with, we're looking at the tree protection laws too, and even areas that don't currently have clearing restrictions. So here's one way to say, okay, well, we need the opinion of the people around. So I would support that notification, but I'm also happy to, in this case, I'd motion that we schedule a public hearing consistent with what we did before. In terms of a policy shift, maybe we wait until our two other members are available for that discussion.
The one Seth had before you earlier, you
We set a
you
public,
moved for a public hearing.
public hearing on
You
that
set a
one.
public
Yes.
hearing. Yeah, and that's a similar situation where it's APOD is less restricted than the covenants. But
Okay.
What is interesting is this particular property is 100% cleared.
Yeah.
So that raises question marks.
Yes, and I would say it's
We
funny.
should be
I
looking at
haven't
a
done-
re-veg plan right now. Not-
And,
Right.
and they're also looking to build on the property.
they have, the structure is there for the ADU. I believe that they're looking to convert it to an
I was
accessory.
gonna ask you, it didn't seem to sort of looking to convert the garage or whatever they have
Yeah,
into
that's
an
the
ADU.
structure there in the top left, in the northeast corner.
Yeah, no, I agree. As I was telling her, everyone I've done, they've been conforming.
Right.
And when I saw this one, and I'm like, oh, this is not right.
Did
Because
you
you're
say-
giving them something, and they're still not conforming. You know, they're not on compliance, I should say.
So we could just vote no on the covenant amendment today.
But the site disturbance would be to bring it to 60% in
What is the covenant right now?
The covenant is for 30, is it 30 or 35? 35%, and the APOD for this size lot would allow for 60%.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna give that to them because obviously it's very restrictive laws. But it's, you could definitely do that. I mean,
Potentially at least notification or a hearing, and I guess we do that. We would do that first, and then the site disturbance a revegetation plan and then the covenant amendment. Right? Am I understanding that correctly? So the question is, do we want to do a hearing? Do you want to do a hearing?
Well, in this case, is it, well, if we didn't approve the covenant amendment, they would be hard pressed to make up the difference because they've already overdeveloped the lot.
Yeah,
They'd
it's
have
a
to
very
tear,
tiny.
they'd have to
restricted
tear
part.
down the house.
Yeah. Probably not gonna happen.
Something.
Right.
Well, you could do the site, why don't you do the site disturbance, you know? Go, now they got it. Because of
But you
yesterday,
could
but-
hear from the neighbors to say what's important to them, you know, front yard or side, or, you know, where they would revegetate. Or, you know, a notification. I like that idea because then you're not opening up so many public hearings for things that.
And the public hearing doesn't, I mean, you open it, close it, and you don't have to act on the covenant amendment because there's no timeframes with that.
Yeah.
So you could just
You're gonna
have it
judge plan when
until
we get
you do the site disturbance and they tell you, oh, I'm gonna do that this fall, I'm gonna plant this fall, or whatever you do, and then you can give them a covenant amendment. Yeah, you could do that, public hearing. I think there's room, isn't it?
On the
28th?
This will be the fourth one.
But these will be very short, probably nobody.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So our action is to set the public hearing for
Yeah.
covenant amendment to August 28th. Very good. We've motioned by Kate.
The biggest risk might be to have everybody else come and say, oh, I want one too.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the net effect.
But,
And
you know,
then that
now
case,
the code
again,
allows it.
That's
as
the
well.
question asked and answered. I'm
exactly.
fine with
No, I
that
agree.
if that's, you know, but just considering it in fairness. So yes, motion for the
Motion by Kate,
28th.
second by
Public hearing.
Gloria. All in favor, aye. Opposed, abstentions. 5 yes, 2 absent. Thanks, Brina. Anthony, are you?
I'll finish up the last few for Teresa.
Okay.
Birthday
What have you got
celebration.
for us?
Number 18,
Happy
HB
birthday.
Hotel Owner LLC. I have it up here. This is on Penny Lane. This is to renovate and relocate 2 existing cottages on this property. Teresa's handling this. She's just deeming the application incomplete at this point.
Incomplete, do we have
Yes.
motion?
Motion.
Motion by Gloria. Second by
Second, sorry.
Kate. All in favor, aye. Opposed,
Yeah.
abstentions.
And she had a checklist
yes.
in the packet,
Oh, good.
so.
How about
CV.
CVE?
CVE, you all know this application. She's also has a resolution in there deeming this application incomplete.
Incomplete, do we have a motion?
Motion.
By Gloria.
Second.
Second by Kate. All in favor, aye. Opposed, abstentions. 5 yes, 2 absent. And Claire, what about Sandy Hollow?
Sandy Hollow is off the agenda. It's gonna be on for the 14th. Yep.
Is off the agenda.
Home improvement contract.
23 and 24.
Anthony, you gonna do the review?
Yeah, so here, I'll do this nightmare for the last couple. We're doing 2 actions here. The first one is to set the maintenance bond for the site landscaping.
Item 23.
It's item number 23. Let me just read it into the record. I sort of did it at the last minute, but it's
The amounts, right?
yeah. The amount is the maintenance bond for the landscaping will be $38,250, and you're recommending that the town board accept it.
Very good. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Kate, second by Gloria, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstentions, 5 yes. How about 24?
So, this is for a performance bond for the cross access.
Uh-huh.
That's what the board asked for. The applicant put the amount together of $350,000.
It's golden.
It's an old. Our engineer looked at it. Todd spoke to me.
The
He's
yellow
like,
brick road.
"That's way too high," but the applicant wants to move forward, so we're setting the performance bond for $350,000, and it's for a period of 6 months after the obligation date.
Very good.
Motion.
It's gonna be
Motion by
made of,
Gloria, second by Tom.
all in favor. Aye.
All in favor, aye, opposed,
Made of
abstentions.
lithium batteries, so it will charge as you drive.
Stairway to
over.
heaven.
Okay.
Lauren, have you signed Verizon Wireless?
I have signed Verizon Wireless. I have signed Chrysler Dodge,
Okay.
and I signed Rivian 797,000 times.
We've all been there.
And the other one's off, which is the North
North
Sea
Sea Park,
Transport.
yeah, I've not
Okay.
seen that.
That's North Sea's
We're
off.
not gonna do the town board for today.
You don't have to.
No.
It's just it was just a follow up to that
I
recommendation.
gotta kind of scoot anyway.
And we're good.
Very good.
Right?
Are we good to go?
Yep.
Motion to adjourn by Tom, second by George. I gotta scoot.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mike's
We're
on.
outta
I
here,
gotta
kids.
keep you honest.
Yeah.
Mike's
Be safe, everyone.
That's part of my job.
Oh, Mike's off. Lights off, lights off.
Thanks, Christine.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks.